That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me Fuck all that shit, just let me go. Owers and tastemakers make us no chaser. Gets the blood flowing like a fucking pacemaker. Cut the middleman and inhale the vapors. Madman, old 10 Don Drapers. Cut the jukebox on, make the woofers blow. We gon' sit here until all them heifers go. Holler at the tens and spend a little dough. Not on them, no, they can buy their own drinks. That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Rundown, episode 197. Including this one, we're only 3 away from 200. I don't really know what we're gonna do with 200 because of everything going on right now. Everything, it's hard to plan anything else. So, you already saw the intro, so we don't need any introductions. But it's been a while since you've been on, Chris. The last time you were on, the world wasn't coming to an end. So how you been lately? With everything going on?
It's been good. I've been staying home, and we kind of, our school got a little fucked up.
Yeah.
But everyone's schooling pretty much got fucked up. Who goes to college and whatnot, and do it from home now.
Yeah.
And it's just they're hanging in there, day by day. It feels like a winter break almost.
Pretty much.
Because in that length of time, but just living at this point.
I remember we were basically supposed to do a radio show that day, and then literally while I was going to school, I got the email that we didn't have that school got canceled as I was driving to school and stuff. So
yeah, they could have put it up earlier, but they didn't. I guess they were just waiting.
Weird. It's all because of that thing that we can't say because YouTube sucks. So, typically, we're gonna review all the shows, but since they all have the same atmosphere, what have you enjoyed about these shows? Because obviously, everything but NXT UK that we're reviewing, and AEW Dog, because that was filmed obviously before this situation really took fire. What do you think of these shows being in empty arenas and everything like that? What are the things you like about it? What are the things you hate about it?
It's been different because a lot of these shows require fan interaction.
Yep.
And it was unique at first. It was very different. I like the way that AEW did it per se. Where they had their wrestlers in the crowd.
Yep.
I loved that.
That was great.
It made the show somewhat normalized in some way.
And I like how they found ways to kind of when Jericho came out with this Judas song, they had Sammy Guevara sing the song instead of the crowd doing it.
Yeah. That's fucking hilarious.
And now they turn it into a storyline because now Jericho says he's banning all fans in the arena. So now, when we don't see fans there, there's actually a reason for it now. So
yeah, it's just different. It's different. Yeah. I like the way that AEW did it. We'll see tomorrow night what they're gonna do.
Yep.
Because we're filming this on a Tuesday.
Yes.
AEW for Dark is tonight and Dynamite's tomorrow. We'll see if they do the same thing.
Yeah,
some pretty good matches in store for Dynamite tomorrow night, and Dark is a little bit different. A lot of new faces tonight for Dark, but yeah, it's been different, but it's weird.
Yeah. So we're just gonna kick off. I usually like say the news at the end, but I said this a little bit last week, but it was kind of like I like just found out about it, so there's like more information on it now. We now know that WrestleMania is gonna be in the Performance Center. That was already well documented, and that's gonna be an interesting show. Obviously, it really sucks for WWE because now they lose like a lot of money from WrestleMania weekend because they're not going to have any merchandise to sell because it's going to be in front of nobody. But I really can't blame WWE for wanting to put on a WrestleMania because pretty much we don't know when this thing's going to die down, and basically a lot of WWE's programming right now is building to WrestleMania. So they can't build like Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar for if they have to do it for like 8 months because this could last a long time. So they can't really because the AEW show I was going to go to got postponed to August. They can't wait till August to have to build up that program because it will get stale really quickly. So they're doing WrestleMania in the Performance Center. Not just there. There's been rumors that they're going to do it in various locations. Like I would like to see maybe once go to Full Sail with no crowd, or maybe actually at the stadium with nobody there. That'd be kind of cool. Be a pain in the ass though to fill it up the ring and stuff like that, just for a few matches and just in that stadium.
But there's a lot of tapings going on.
Yep.
Today and tomorrow for WWE. I think WrestleMania is either today and tomorrow, or it's tomorrow or something like that. But they're taping WrestleMania like today and tomorrow, I think.
It's gonna be two, and it's not just gonna be one day now. It's gonna be 2 days now. Which I kind of find funny that it took this situation for WWE to finally do 2 nights, because that's something I've asked for.
I hope they do it regularly.
Yeah, I hope so.
You know what revenue they can bring in? With the world fully healthy, like what they can do at like a big stadium, like in LA or at the Coliseum or wherever, like you could do like double your revenue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or triple your revenue.
And I'm assuming how they're gonna work it too is I've been thinking about it a little bit, like maybe they'll do Raw one night and then SmackDown the other night. Or they'll split it out. I definitely think each show, like the 2 world title matches are going to be on different nights. When they have the tag title matches finally announced, that's going to be on like a different night. I think the mid card matches will be like on different nights, even though one of the mid card champions is not defending his title, which we'll get about when we get to that part of the video. I think Edge and Orton, since that's finally official now, is going to air one night, and Taker and Styles, I think, will air a different night.
I think they're going to do gimmick matches in one night.
Yeah.
Or do one gimmick match on the first day, and then on Saturday, and then on Sunday do like another gimmick match, and intersperse it with like regular matches.
I'm assuming too they'll have like different sets of commentators. Like one night will be the Raw team, and then the other night will be like the SmackDown team or something. Even though no Corey Graves lately, because
no
he
King
wasn't.
No King either.
Yeah, no King this week. So that's not a good sign. But yeah, we'll just start with. But that's kind of everything. When they're gonna tape some shows too, because I think because this we don't know if this thing's gonna get better or worse. They could end up having to cancel WrestleMania, so that's why I think they're trying to do all these tapings now, just in case they can't do WrestleMania. All of a sudden, there's a lot of places.
They want to get it in there.
So that makes a whole lot of sense. But now that we kind of covered all of that. We're gonna start with SmackDown from March 13th. This was kind of a very interesting show because this was the week where we didn't really know what was going on with SmackDown. They were supposed to air I think in Knoxville County or something like that. But then it got reported that it was moving to the PC, and then WWE debunked it, and then they ended up having to do it anyways because I think that Thursday, March 12th, was like the official falling point pretty much for like everything, pretty much like schools and stuff. That's like where everything really started to go downhill. So that's kind of like they couldn't really have a show that day. So everything pretty much has been in the performance center with nobody there. So we're gonna start with SmackDown. We did have some exclusives. They did some previews where they told us 3 things that we had to know. But then they had to make like another preview because the preview they made the first time pretty much was before they knew that SmackDown was moving to the Performance Center. So they had to kind of change that up a little bit. John Cena did like a little interview because this was the first time he did a show like this, and he actually mentions that one weakness for him is that he's not going to have the crowd because he typically plays off the crowd. I actually wonder though if this had been Cena's comeback, I feel like he would have been so much better on the mic than he was on that night when he came back because he wouldn't have gotten so flustered that day. So, but then we had the actual show itself. What was some? I'm just going to start with this. The highlight of that whole SmackDown for me was Triple H. He was awesome the whole show. He was on commentary with Michael Cole, and it was only supposed to be like for one segment. But he was just so great that they just put him out there. Show like when the Boston Hug Connection came out, they were upset that like Paige wasn't there, and like he was throwing Michael Cole under the bus. He kept like wagging on Michael Cole, like he talked about how he was getting gray hairs on like his mustache or whatever, and like drew it on. It was one point where Michael Cole's just sitting there by himself, and the camera's pointing at him. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Well, short-handed tonight, Cole. I gotta get like your ball. I gotta. We all gotta pitch in." And then he's pointing out Michael Cole's bald spot. He even talks about like he even throws a shot saying that it's weird that I got demoted, but yet I end up working harder than I did before. Like it was just so awesome. Later on in the show, they do a segment with Mojo Rawley when him and Triple H are just beating the crap out of Michael Cole, like pretty much like when they're announcing like Watt's coming and all that type of stuff. He was just so fantastic. Like I was so disappointed when he wasn't on SmackDown this week because I really wanted him to be there. But Triple H was epic on SmackDown. Like it was so epic. WWE had to make like a compilation video of everything that he did on SmackDown. Like, what did you think of Triple H on SmackDown? He was fantastic.
Oh, he was awesome. He was funny. Like in a time like this, you just need to laugh sometimes. And I think he brought that to the table, and he was hilarious. And Mojo was really funny too. I liked it.
So then no one was laughing. The Boston Hug Connection came out to cut a promo. Well, first Triple H did like an intro because a lot of people, believe it or not, that only watch on SmackDown really don't know about the Performance Center. So we kind of like did an introduction, like telling people what the Performance Center was, which I thought made sense. Then the Boston Hug Connection came out. Wouldn't have started the show this way because no one really likes Bayley as a heel and no one really likes Sasha Banks, and we kind of needed like a segment to kind of like not make me mad, and just really didn't do the table. Paige couldn't be there because she was having travel issues, which is still ongoing because when she was on SmackDown the next week, which is this past week, she was on via like Skype or whatever. So they upset.
Told her to stay home.
Huh?
They told her to stay home this week.
So they were upset that there was no Paige. It really didn't make any sense. I get they're being heels, but with the current situation, it kind of doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to be mad about it. You're kind of coming off irritating children at that point. So then Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross came out, and it just leads to a tag team match. This was kind of awkward a little bit. Because Nikki Cross was like trying to get the crowd wound up. No one's there. This is kind of one of those matches that it was still good, but it was so off a little bit because Nikki Cross trying to get the crowd that wasn't there into it. Eventually, Asuka runs interference, and the Boston Hug Connection win. I don't really remember how because I don't care. I actually didn't mind the Asuka part. I didn't really mind the Asuka part, but I'm just wasn't really digging this The tag team match was fine, but I really wasn't digging. Like, I'm just not digging this Sasha Banks Bailey heel tag team duo. It's not feeling that at all. So, what do you think of this?
Eh.
Yeah, it's just
It's just not good. Apparently,
Yeah.
one of them's going to turn face after WrestleMania.
Yeah, honestly, I think Bailey should be the one that goes face because this heel one just ain't doing it.
Bland. It's worse than Big Cass.
Then
Roman theme song and everything, and it's garbage.
Oh, absolutely. Then we had a segment that really did work. Roman Reigns had an exclusive interview where he pretty much just talked about like his WrestleMania match coming up with Goldberg at WrestleMania. I kind of find it funny now, though. A lot of the points that I pointed out, like why it was a good idea to have Goldberg win the title, really mean nothing now. Because I was saying, oh, well, the crowd's not going to boo Roman Reigns. Well, now there's no crowd, so they really just could have left the title off the feet all along now. So, it is what it is, I guess, at this point. So pretty much they didn't even need... They really could have just left the title on the Fiend, put the title on Roman... Because by the time they probably get to the point where they can bring crowd fans in, I don't think people are going to boo him anyways now. So it's like, it's just kind of... So it's kind of a waste now to take the title off the Fiend. Roman Reigns probably cut the best promo of his career. This was one of those promos that really worked because it was in the Full Sail place, so there was like no crowd really reacting to it, but it really worked. I had actually, one thing I really would like to utilize is they do more stuff in the PC, like these types of interviews and stuff, because they're actually really good. Cena has a great one later on in the show. Roman Reigns is pretty much just running down Goldberg, talking about how this isn't about spear versus spear for him. He talks about how he wants to be the Universal Champion. He says that he deserves a title match because he's main evented shows all over the world, and why shouldn't he get a Universal Championship match? He talks about how Goldberg's a part-timer, and we don't have time for any of that. And he said that he's taking the Universal Championship. I thought this promo was very good. Made me want Roman Reigns to win the championship. Because we don't need, like I said, we don't got time for Goldberg as Universal Champion. We don't got time for that. So, what did you think of this interview?
It accomplished a lot. It really allowed Roman to cut a promo without getting booed.
Yes.
And it let him get his point across, and it was a good promo. I liked it.
Then I'll just break these all down into one segment. Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Shinsuke Nakamura thought they were going to get interviewed, and Sami Zayn's gloated about the fact that he's the Intercontinental Champion now. And we find out that Caleb Braxton actually wasn't going to interview them, so they get upset and leave. I actually thought that was hilarious. So then later on in the night, Daniel Bryan's backstage, and he actually comes up to Drew Gulak and he says, that I need you to help me. I need, you know all my movesets, you counted them all. So I need you to teach me. So now that's officially the point where they're a tag team. Then Sami Zayn's group comes out, which I believe is called the Artist Collective. I like that name because that reminds me a lot of the Nightmare Collective. So that's PTSD right there. I couldn't have been the only one that thought that. They're berating Daniel Bryan because they actually bring back up that storyline that they had, in the fall, right before Daniel Bryan feuded with the Fiend. How Daniel Bryan declined him to be in his group, and now he's basically taking advice from someone that hasn't won anything relevant. So I guess the cruiserweight title is not relevant. So I think Noah Foster probably was taking his glasses off after that, so he was not happy. So that led to a match between Daniel Bryan and Cesaro. We had that match. We had Sami Zayn on commentary. He did very well. That match was awesome. It was only 4 minutes, but it's the best 4-minute match you've ever seen in your life. Cesaro hit an awesome uppercut. It really worked. And Daniel Bryan won with the most devastating move in all of professional wrestling, the fluke roll-up. Then the Artist Collective, I'm going to flip that name right off. Attacked
the Artist Collective.
Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak after the match, and then they're beating him up, and then Daniel Bryan hits a suicide dive, and then they attack the stops out of nowhere. That was kind of awkward. Like, he hit the suicide dive and then just cuts to the next segment. It was kind of awkward. Like, it was weird. But yeah, I really, there's more to this program, which we'll get into later. But yeah, I really like this. I really like that they're putting Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak in a tag team. You could have probably done the Braun Strowman, like, Sami Zayn thing, but that's really not, like, a good utilization of Sami Zayn's talent because, you know, it will make him look really weak. I think, you know, putting Sami Zayn in this program actually benefits Sami Zayn. And let's just say this, Daniel Bryan, I think, single-handedly, like, saved Drew Gulak's career. Like, it's awesome.
Work with him.
What did you think of everything with the Intercontinental Championship on this show?
I loved it. I like the fact that him and Gulak are like a tag team now.
Yep.
And I've been doing a lot of Twitter reading recently, and looks like Chad Gable could be involved in some way, probably. I hope so.
As Chad Gable, too.
Not weird, awkward Shorty G.
Yep.
Get it? Because he's small.
It's kind of awesome, too, like Daniel Bryan, like, you never would have thought would have had, like, this much backstage pull, and he's actually using it for, like, good. Like, to get, like, the people, like, to get actually people, like, that are actually talented, like, on TV. He's not, like, doing what Triple H was doing back in, like, 2002 and just burying the whole roster, pretty much.
And this news on Bryan, too. Did you see?
Yeah, he's becoming a part-timer soon.
Yep. He said he wants to wrestle one time a month.
That's
so I'm assuming that's going to happen.
Yeah, it was on the Bellas podcast. I listened to it. I only listened to the Daniel Bryan part. I didn't listen to that other guy because I don't know shit about him and I don't care. So I only listened to the Daniel Bryan part. That's pretty much what he talked about. He wants to be a dad right now. I'm assuming, like, once the August comes, because that's when they said, like, you know, the child's due, he's going to go on, like, 6 weeks maternity leave or whatever they call it for the dad. I'm assuming, you know, he'll be, you know, probably transition to, like, a part-time at that point. Maybe we'll see him every here and there. Because, you know, they talked about how it's not going to be easy because now they're going to have 2 kids versus 1 now, so the system's going to get all messed up.
Yeah.
And then you know, so it makes sense for him to be a part-timer. I mean, I feel like that was definitely the destination anyways because, you know, even though he's cleared to wrestle and stuff, like, if he, it's still scary to see him take like the bumps he was taking against Gulak at Elimination Chamber and stuff.
So that was fucking insane.
Yeah,
that was nuts.
So, yeah, it's just it's crazy. I'm actually, I'm excited. And like I said, I like that Daniel Bryan's using like his last full-time run to like put over like the Gulaks and you know, get like the possibly Chad Gable's involved in this stuff. So I'm so excited. Then they showed the tag team elimination chamber match from Elimination Chamber. I already broke that down, so I'm not doing it again. Then Morrison and Miz did like a promo saying that they're like the best tag team in the world, and they do like their chant now. It's kind of awkward. I actually loved it though because they this is how they utilized like the whole thing that they had any fans. They pretty much said if anyone thinks that like we suck or something like that, anything that like put them down. Since no one was there, nobody said anything. It was actually great. I loved it. Then we had the Gronk announcement. It was announced that he was going to be on SmackDown. Then obviously it led further. We find out now he's going to host WrestleMania. The only rant I can really give is why is Mojo Rawley on SmackDown now? He's a Raw guy. He's supposed to be a Raw. What did they trade him?
Not anymore.
We're getting back to the wild card rule. We don't need any of that in my life. So last time I checked, he's a Raw superstar, not SmackDown Raw. So that's the only rant I'll give about that. That made me mad because it brought back flashbacks of the wild card rule, and that was a terrible time. So I don't want to be involved. I don't want that happening anymore. We have a brand split. We've got to utilize the brand split.
I want the fucking wild card rule back again.
You want it back in full effect. You want people just going whenever they want, don't you?
Whenever the fuck they want. I don't even care. Whenever they want.
What I mean, what did you think of the Gronk announcement? I mean, obviously, there's only one segment to break down. It's only all that long, but
I don't know. I'm indifferent. I think he's a tool bag. Like,
there you
honestly, like, I mean, I watched him play football for fucking 9 years, almost 10 years, and I just like, I don't know. He's just a fucking tool.
It's hilarious because even though I don't watch sports, this is what I get told. They talk about how he's like a 3-time Super Bowl winner, but he was only actually like one of the Super Bowls that like he won. So it's like I think that's hilarious that WWE is putting that spin on it. Like they forget he wasn't at like 2 of them. So hilarious.
He was hurt during one of them. And he played in 2 of them and was hurt in one of them.
So it's not as funny now as I thought it was then. We're gonna see how this works. This could be a good thing for WWE though, because he's a bit, obviously because SmackDown's ratings aren't doing the greatest. And since he's on Fox, I mean, obviously I think SmackDown was the destination anyway, since he's very like affiliated with Fox. Even though The Miz is somehow on SmackDown, his show's on the USA Network, so I don't know how that, I don't know why that happened. He could be. I'll talk about it more once we actually get to his segment because that's where it ties in more. Then we had whoever would have thought though. Jeff Hardy's big return on SmackDown months ago, even a week ago, would have been in front of nobody.
Yeah.
It was King Corbin versus Jeff Hardy with Elias on commentary. Because earlier in the show, Jeff Hardy got interviewed backstage, and he was talking about it. Then King Corbin came out. We found out they were going to have a match with each other. It was very short. Corbin attacked him before the match, and then Jeff Hardy, won with a twist of fury. Twist of Fury now. So, and then the Swanton Bomb for the win because of Elias interference. I like that. I like the Jeff Hardy part. Really not feeling like the whole Ken Corbin Elias feud. Don't really like that at all. I'm a fan. It was cool to see Jeff Hardy back. It's going to be because Matt Hardy was pretty much gone already, So it's going to be kind of. I mean, I know it's happened before, but it's going to be kind of unique because now they're both pretty much competing against each other now.
Really?
Because by the time, because I know we could say because when Jeff Hardy went to TNA in 2010, I know it was on doing that Monday Night Wars era, but let's be honest, that really wasn't competition.
Yeah, Matt was at the door anyways in WWE.
Yeah, so that really
2004.
Yeah,
Matt was Cruiserweight champion.
Yep.
But TNA wasn't big yet. I mean, they were getting there, but they weren't big yet. They really. I mean, obviously they've competed in the ring against each other, but they haven't been an opposite two emerging promotions.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously WWE's not emerging, but it's AEW's the competition now.
Yeah, so it's crazy. Now though, because they had him on an interview recently on the Bump. They don't say who his brother is. It's just his brother. We don't know who it is. So, who's that?
He's just in that. He's just some guy.
Yeah, they say you and your brother. They show him in the videos. They show him, but they don't say his name. They will not mention him by name, so they don't say his name.
He's just some guy now. The one thing I do give Matt credit for is that he didn't go on the Jericho podcast and talk shit like most of the guys do now. That's the thing. They're unhappy there, and instead of talking about the good times that were there, everything to them was just shit. And that is shit all over WWE.
Yeah.
let's face it, like Moxley, he was a main player in WWE, a big star in WWE. He was WWE champion, he was United States champion, and he leaves WWE, and he like talks shit about them. Like I get it, like you want to create a freedom with your character, and they wouldn't give it to you. I totally understand why you'd be frustrated with that, but at least talk about like the good that you did. Like the Shield. The Shield was massively popular and successful because of the three of you. Like that's just like my little nitpick, but yeah.
Yeah, there you go. We're going to talk about that more later. But yeah, so it's kind of cool that like, cause I don't know if Jeff will join Matt, or because he has a year left in his contract, so he's stuck in WWE for a while. But maybe Jeff will stay in WWE. But the thing is too, the difference is Matt Hardy, even if he doesn't, even if he's going to be out the door wrestling wise, he can still do some stuff creatively. Jeff Hardy's even said like he's basically a spot monkey. He's not really like a creative guy. So, how much is Jeff Hardy going to have left, wrestling wise, even if, after a year, anyways? So, maybe he wants to call it a day. Maybe he wants to call it a day afterwards. But we'll see.
Yeah, he could, but he could then intern after this year's up, go and join his brother.
Yeah, so we'll see. All right, then like Triple H ended off the show. He didn't really end it, but says thank you for joining us for the Performance Center and all that type of stuff. He kind of rags on Michael Cole some more. That was funny. Then we had the John Cena exclusive interview. They talked about pretty much what the events they reopened it up from WrestleMania 30, where he talked about how he accepted Bray Wyatt's challenge at WrestleMania 36 because he sees all these stars emerging in NXT. They are going to be big stars in WWE, but he doesn't see that with Bray Wyatt. And Bray Wyatt, is putting the blame on me that I beat him at WrestleMania 30 and that led to his decline, which it did. Let's not deny that it did, because Bray was never the same afterwards. But then he talked about Bray Wyatt got lazy, and started talking nonsense. But then then you could say again, that's when he started talking nonsense because then he couldn't win any of his feuds anymore. So
that's true.
It's one of those occasions where I kind of think to myself, how is Cena the face in this feud? Because everything he's saying sounds like if it was anybody else, it would be a heel. But
not Cena.
Then he talks about hey, maybe this is reverse psychology though. Usually when Cena looks vulnerable in feuds, he buries you. Now Bray's looking vulnerable. Maybe Bray's actually gonna win. So
exactly, yeah. Maybe Bray buries him.
Yeah, but then then we hear Bray Wyatt somewhere. We see he's just sitting in the crowd with a microphone, and it's the Mr. Rogers version, which is kind of cool. This was the first time that the Mr. Rogers version cut a promo in the ring versus doing a Firefly Funhouse segment. And I think this is a segment that would not have worked in front of a live crowd because I feel it just, with the way the segment gets, it really got creepier and creepier. It wouldn't have worked with the live crowd because they would have been too busy chanting Yowie Wowie and stuff like that. So the creepiness wouldn't have really kicked in. Bray Wyatt talked about how John Cena's been this big superstar, but before WrestleMania 30, I was on this rocket ship to the top, but then you knocked me down and talked about how he burnt everything down. It was more Randy Orton, but I guess John Cena started it. But I guess Cena did it more figuratively. Randy Orton literally burned everything down.
He did.
And he talked about though how he went into a deep depression, and then he created the Fiend, and the Fiend helped him get through. And I've forgiven you, but the Fiend hasn't. And then he says that basically at WrestleMania it's going to be a massacre when you face me at WrestleMania. And then we hear the Fiend laughing, and the arena starts flashing with the Fiend's face and stuff. This segment was awesome. It really worked because and I It's just like too like I really like how the Mr. Rogers version's getting more sadistic, like in this Cena feud.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Like I don't know if we reviewed this episode, but like the Firefly Funhouse segment that he did like before, like hyping it up, like he was so sadistic as the Mr. Rogers character.
Yeah.
So yeah, this segment was awesome. It really hit a home run. What do you think of this segment?
It did. It was it definitely hit a home run. It was awesome. This character is just like, it's so unique. It's so different. I just wish they'd just like push him better.
Absolutely.
Like, even though he's been like treated as like unstoppable. This match would have made much more sense if it was for the Universal Championship.
Yeah, he didn't get squashed by Goldberg in like 3 minutes.
Yeah, because Roman Reigns versus Bill Goldberg does not fucking need the Universal Championship.
Nope.
This feud does. It makes the feud feel special.
And then we'd all get scared thinking Cena's gonna. I actually, you notice, by the way, we're back in a similar spot that we were a few years ago. Because now Bray Wyatt needs this win, or that's it. It's the end of the character. And in a sense, it won't be Cena's fault this time. Because
no, it won't be.
Because the Hell in a Cell Fit didn't do Bray Wyatt any favors, and then they started rebuilding him a little bit with like the match with Daniel Bryan. And then when everything was going along well, we got like squashed by Goldberg, and then all of a sudden now he needs this victory, or else it's the end of the Fiend pretty much.
He does need it in the worst way.
That was SmackDown, the first of like many empty arena shows. But SmackDown was actually really good. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed Triple H on the show. He actually says another line I forgot about. When Asuka came through like the crowd, he mentions, he mentions, oh, she must have come through the crowd. I didn't even notice her when nobody was there. That was awesome. But yeah, I thought Triple H was awesome. I thought the Cena Bray Wyatt segment was awesome. The Roman Reigns segment was. The only thing I really didn't enjoy was the Boston Hug connection. Get away from like WWE. I don't want you there. So. What do you think of SmackDown? What we ought to rate? Oh, and I'm going to give it an 86 out of 100.
86. I'm going to give it the same thing. That's a very reasonable grade for the fact that no crowd there. Sometimes the crowd needs to be there.
Yeah.
For feud to work. It's different. I give it the same.
We have 205 Live that aired the same day. We had Aiden English and John Quasto on commentary. And this was that captain versus captain challenge match that we had. It was the 205 Live Originals, which consisted of captain by Tony Nese, Arya Daivari, Mike Kanellis, the Brian Kendrick, and Gentleman Jack Gallagher with the Sin Brothers ringside. And then they would face the NXT Cruiserweights, which consisted of Isaiah Swerve, Scott, Orton Lorcan, Danny Burch, and a mystery partner. We found out the mystery partner was Kushida. They gave it away though because when the NXT team came out, they messed up. I think and put Kushida's Titantron.
They did. It kind of gave it away.
The match. I still thought the match was pretty good. They was very rushed, obviously, because of the circumstances. So it wasn't the match I kind of wanted from it. I wanted more, because the match was still competitive, but I feel like, if it had more time, I understand it got like a half hour, but like I just feel like they kind of had to lay out like a rushed version of this match of what they wanted to do. But yeah, I'll just go through the eliminations. The Sin Brothers cost Danny Burch to get eliminated when Tony Nese hit him on the back with like that camera. That's not really a camera thing, and eliminates Danny Burch. Jack Gallagher eliminated Tyler Breeze with a roll-up. They did this whole story in the match where Gallagher couldn't get along with anybody on his team, so he cost Tony Nese to get eliminated with by a half-and-half suplex because he was arguing with him. When Tony Nese confronts him about after he's eliminated, it cost Mike Kanellis to get eliminated. and then it's eventually down to like 3 versus 3. And then eventually, Alia Davawi gets eliminated by Isaiah Swerve Scott with the house call, and then he rolls up the Brian Kendrick and eliminates him. So then it's like down to Gallagher versus 3 members of the NXT team, and Gallagher eliminates Lorcan. But then he's unable to eliminate Scott and Kushida. Isaiah Swerve Scott does like that arm breaker that he's been hitting lately. He used to hit that a lot in Lucha Underground, ironically enough. And then he puts him in the arm. Kushida puts him in the arm breaker, and Gallagher taps out. But I still really enjoyed the match. It's probably like 3.5. I like the stuff they did with Gallagher, how he's not really associated with anybody. And the only reason the 205 Live Originals lost was because he couldn't get along with anybody. I loved, the spot at the end with Kushida and Isaiah Swerve Scott. And I feel like he didn't really make Gallagher look weak by losing because he was stuck on like a 3-on-1 advantage at the end. And I mean, who wouldn't have tapped out after getting your arm broken and getting that cross arm break or whatever?
Oh yeah, exactly.
I really enjoyed everything that they did here, and I enjoyed the match. What do you think? Because it's all basically one match. What do you think of this match?
It was great. It was a great match. It was a great episode. It was awesome. Eight really, really good wrestlers in there doing what they do best. It was unique again. No crowd, but technically John Cena was in the crowd. Really liked it. It was just it was awesome. It was a really good match. The right team won, and the right people won over.
Yeah.
But Jack Gallagher looks like, a baby face somehow in this. As like the final member of his team, standing strong, but eventually loses to, Isaiah Swerve Scott and Kushida.
Yep.
But it was a great match.
Yeah, and the episode was great. I mean, we're only grading this episode off of this one match, so that's the only match they did on the show. Give it like a B+, 89 out of 100. So, one thing I'm going to say is like 205 Live needs to go back to an hour. A half hour is way too short. It's fine, obviously, for right now since we have this to an hour. So we'll see if that happens. Then we have Monday Night Raw. Then it's Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw. Because I know I remember there was an episode of The Bump that aired before SmackDown, but that's this week. But it was March 16th, 2020, 3/16 day. There's a ton of clips that they were showing of Stone Cold Steve Austin, of all of his great moments of his career. Just go watch them. I'm not going to say them, but you should already know them.
Exactly. How many times he showed up? I'm pretty sure you should know who Stone Cold Steve Austin is by now.
Yeah. It showed 3 things we needed to know before Raw took place. We had the commentary team of Jerry the King Lawler, Tom Phillips, and Byron Saxton. Lawler talked about on his podcast, like, what went into making this episode of Raw. Like, they had, like, all the wrestlers come in and just go into a room immediately. And it was very hectic. Just go listen to it on his podcast of how they structured this Raw. I don't remember all the details because there's been so much news lately that it's tough to keep track of, like, everything. It was very hectic. Edge came out and did his promo. It was awesome. He still got like his smoke steamers too when he came out, because typically they're not doing pyro obviously because it's in the performance center, but Ed still got like his steamers and all that type of stuff. And he cuts this great promo talking about kind of the history lately of Randy Orton. And Edge talks about that show that Randy Orton discussed, like that they met each other live, and he talked about it. Randy Orton looked like a spoiled brat then, and how he didn't have to scratch and claw to get signed to WWE. He got signed by his name, based off his last name. and he says that he's had to scratch and claw for everything. He talks about how when Beth Phoenix showed up, she was going to announce his retirement for him because no one should have to announce their retirement twice off of tragic situations. But then, Randy Orton dug him out of his grave pretty much like I dug you out of graves many times, and talked about how when you put your hands on his wife, it was the worst mistake he ever could have made. He talked about like pretty much how Mick Foley had like a big impact in their careers by putting them on the map. But Edge actually took something from that. He talked about how he got grit, and that's something that Randy Orton doesn't have. So he challenges Randy Orton to a match at WrestleMania, but not just any match, a last man standing match, which actually made sense because Edge says like in his promo how like they've stood the test of time, and Edge has walked away from the most drastic things, and this promo was just awesome. Having it in the empty arena, I thought really made it work. So I love this promo. What do you think of this promo?
It was great. It's a phenomenal promo. It's it's so impactful when Edge speaks because he's been out of the business for so damn long that it sucks you right back in.
Absolutely.
It's awesome. I love that he's back. This feud's great too.
Oh, it's like it's my favorite feud in all of WWE right now. Probably even NXT included.
Yeah, it's like it's tough to explain. Like just watch it because there's so much history. Besides they were a tag team, and then Edge came back, and they really didn't feud with each other all that much.
No, not really.
The end of Rated RKO, they had that little mini feud, but it was like from the end of Rated RKO up until the Rumble, they had like no interaction with each other.
And then, very rare. They did have like some one-off feuds, like when they feuded for like the Intercontinental Championship, like way back in like 2004. But then they had like that feud in 2010 when Edge got drafted to Raw, but like it was never really personal. And this is like a personal feud.
Because Randy tried to end his career.
Yeah. And then Becky Lynch arrives in a truck. We found out later in like reports that this was supposed to be like a WrestleMania entrance, but because it's in the Performance Center, they're not gonna be able to fit this truck in there. So WWE is trying to get their money's worth. So she showed up in a truck. Like I said, huh?
It's actually kind of funny.
Kind of funny, yeah. She has like someone poke it and stuff, but then it showed, like I said earlier in the show, they showed some of Austin's great moments throughout the show. They showed the men's Royal Rumble match from this year, which took up a lot of Raw, like over an hour of it. Because they had commercials and stuff in between. And then I believe, because I didn't watch the whole thing, they like showed the entire thing, like everything. So there you go. If you didn't see the men's Royal Rumble match, now you saw it. I already did, so
exactly. Yeah.
Then we had the WrestleMania contract signing between Undertaker and AJ Styles. Undertaker comes out, but he doesn't come out really as the dead man. He comes out more as like Mark Calloway, American Badass Undertaker. A lot of people could say like this would be the perfect time to bring that gimmick back, but he's already kind of been back as a dead man now anyway. It'd kind of be pointless. I kind of thought this was a nice because of everything that AJ Styles has said. Undertaker's all business. I wonder if he was supposed to come out to his original entrance too, but because they didn't have the arena, he just came out as Mark Calloway pretty much.
Yeah.
And then he gets pissed that there's no contract there, so he just starts tearing apart the table. Jerry the Kid Lawler had one job to do. All he had to do was win the contract. He screwed up. Like, come on, Jerry. He screwed up that one. He had one job. And the OC is up on the screen. They make fun of the Undertaker. Talks about how he's just a broken down old man. How Michelle McCool has taken his soul already. And says that when he signs his contract, he won't be putting down a legend. He'll be putting down a crippled old man. He's even going to pay for his retirement. And he's back. He wants Gallows and Anderson to win it, but they refuse because they're afraid of The Undertaker. Because, who wouldn't be afraid of The Undertaker? There's my bias coming out right there. And that's why they both just go out there.
No one's afraid of The Undertaker.
Huh?
Undertaker's a bitch.
That's enough of that. Gallows and
That
Anderson.
old fart? You kidding me?
Huh?
That old fart?
Don't be doing that. It's enough.
You could push him, but you could poke him with your finger and he'd fall down. He's so brittle.
Oh yeah, what was that? Gallows and Anderson were poking him. He wasn't falling down now, was he? Let's keep going before I end this video. Gallows and Anderson come out though, and they just hand over the contract. Undertaker signs it. Lights go out. When the lights come back on, Undertaker just beats the crap out of him, and he stuffs the contract into Carl Anderson's mouth. So Undertaker wasn't, practicing social distance that day. When you make fun of someone's wife and all that type of stuff, that doesn't matter to him.
Nope.
And he just when he leaves, he just looks at AJ Styles on the stage while he's on the screen. I always wonder, it makes no sense that kind of AJ Styles would look back in anger, because when does he have a TV backstage? How does he see him? It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I never really understood that.
That's true.
When the wrestlers backstage, looking into the ring, look mad at them. How can they even see them? It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But I thought the segment was awesome, obviously, because I got to see Undertaker kick ass. AJ Styles is just being really mean right now, and I understand what do you have? I understand he cost you that tournament, but that didn't really mean much anyways, and you were kind of being mean in that tournament, so he's just being really mean right now. He needs to stop that. So, what do you think?
Oh, you heard by that? You gonna cry?
You would be hurt too if this was one of your favorites AJ Styles was talking trash to. So,
I don't have favorites.
What'd you think of this?
I thought it was great. This is a great segment.
Why? Because he's crashing The Undertaker and it's making me feel hurt my feelings? Is that why you thought it was great?
Yeah. I think that Biker Taker should come back again. No. Forever.
Never.
He's going to come back. He's going to ride the motorcycle. He's going to be Biker for life.
What did you really think of this segment without hurting my feelings?
It was good.
There you go. Then we had the only match that aired the whole show. It was Rey Mysterio versus Andrade with Zelina Vega inside. We had Asuka on commentary. She was awesome on commentary. Jerry the Kid Lawler didn't really know what was going on. You can't really blame him because she wasn't speaking English. But Jerry the Kid Lawler was trying to act like she knew what she was saying. But yeah.
It was actually kind of funny because
I thought it was hilarious. Rey Mysterio won. It's a really good match. I thought it was going to a Mania match, but they just said, "Screw that! We're not doing that now." So I'm just gonna put the rant right here. Why the hell is this not a Fatal 4-Way match? I understand we have things going on right now, but Kevin Owens and AJ Styles, Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins are still having their match, and they had months of planning, and they're still doing that match. Why are we not getting that 4-Way match? It's not fair. We're just getting a random thrown together tag title match that nobody cares about except the Street Profits, Andrade, and I don't even think Angel Garza cares about. He's just there. I like the match, but I'm just not now that there's no consequences from this match. You had it you had months of storylines and you just threw it away. It's not fair.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think of this? What do you think of this match?
It's okay.
Yeah, so
there's not much they can do. I mean, they're rushing everything now.
Do you agree? Do you think they should have done the 4-Way match, or do you think they should have just thrown it all away just for a lame ass Raw tag team title match?
Fatal 4-Way.
Then we had Becky Lynch come out to do a promo. I don't really remember it all that much because I watched so much wrestling. I think it was just more talk to Shayna Baszler, and Shayna Baszler watched backstage and just yeah. I remember liking it. I just don't really remember it. So, do you remember this promo at all, or?
Basically, what it was, just talking shit to Shayna. Like every promo of hers,
Yes. I mean, that's how you build. I could just literally say that about anybody on the show. That just Becky Lynch's promo just doesn't. I feel like because there was so many other great things about it, but it just didn't really. I just don't remember it. She didn't say anything that I really remembered. So,
It's basically like what her promos are like. As much as like the man character has gotten over, it's like she just cuts like the same fucking promo every single time.
yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm very angry. I'm the man.
Yep.
Fight me. I'm the man. I'm the best, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
That's their thing. That's WWE's thing now. Everyone's a bitch.
Apparently. And then it's a predictable thing when you get called a bitch, they get offended. Even though, like AJ Styles gets called a bitch like 3 times, he gets offended the same each time. So it's like, all right. So then we had Kevin Owens interview. This I remember. Kevin Owens wants to have him and Seth Rollins match at WrestleMania. And now it makes sense. Like, he talks about how it's going to be in his home turf at the Performance Center. Talks about, like, how this is where Kevin Owens had, like, some of the hardest times because it took he didn't think he was going to get signed. He finally did get signed. And he talked about how Seth Rollins never really practiced here. Because I believe when Seth Rollins was in NXT, the Performance Center wasn't made yet. It wasn't made till, like, after his original one in NXT.
He was up in the main roster already when the Performance Center was like a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I know he had technically been there because of his injury that he had like in 2016, but we gotta pretend that didn't happen. So,
I guess what they're trying to say is like he didn't train there originally when he signed.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Performance Center was like up and running when Kevin Owens signed, when Finn Balor signed, like when that next crop of indie talent superstars, like notable names came through.
But yeah, Kevin Owens, talked about like, yeah, pretty much all that. That was basically the gist of his promo. I think I just said it all. I really liked this promo. It was awesome. And I'm really excited about the match at WrestleMania. I actually don't know who's going to win because they both would need the victory because it's Drew's winning the belt at Mania. He needs a heel to feud with. And Seth Rollins is the perfect guy for it. But Kevin Owens kind of needs to win this feud because they've been building to this for so long, and Owens has got laid out each time. He'll look really stupid if he loses. So it could really go either way. But we're gonna wait. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to wait and see. But this is actually really good because this feud goes back a few months, and then I ask the questions why, if this situation. Even though with the situation they're still able to do this match, why can we not do the Fatal 4-Way match for the U.S. belt? Like, just why? Why can we not do that?
Exactly.
But I thought what did you think of this interview? I thought it was awesome.
It was great. I loved it. It was good. Really
Then
good.
we had the return of Stone Cold Steve Austin with 316 Day. It was awesome. He pretty much just comes out and reads like a ton of cue cards about all these types of things that should be included on 316 Day, making it a national holiday. He even has like tries to get the fans to say "hell yeah," and it cuts to the fans and nobody's there. So it's like, okay,
that's funny as hell.
So then Byron Saxton was pretty much playing the role. He would rate everything that Stone Cold Steve Austin would say, and he would give really low scores, and Stone Cold would get like really offended. So then eventually, Stone Cold, when he's finally finished, he has Byron Saxton come in and celebrate with some of his IPAs that like his personal brand. I really love this because like Tom and Phillips and Jerry the Kid Lawler were loving this because they knew he was getting stunned.
Yeah.
I love too when he came into the ring. Awesome was saying, "I gotta get soft like that." Tom Phillips was like, "No, you don't, Steve." Like that was great.
I love I love Byron Saxton's like over-selling of "Oh yeah."
Yeah, that was great. And then Stone Cold Austin he lays him out with the stunner, and then celebrates.
Not only a stunner, he kicked him right in the dick.
Yeah, that was great. And then
right in the dick.
I think he did it twice, and then he celebrates, and then Becky comes down, And then there's a thing on afterwards. I don't know if you saw, like, on WWE.com afterwards. Like, I think Byron Saxton, by, like, the end of this show, gets, like, 7 stunners. Like, and then later on, the Street Profits come out, and they get hit with stunners. And, like, he does it to Angelo Dawkins, I think, first, or Montez Ford. And then he's like, oh, it was an accident. It happens, you know. And then he just hits Angelo Dawkins with the stun anyways. Like, it was great. Like, it was awesome.
Such a great segment.
I mean, this segment doesn't accomplish anything, but I feel like we just needed an escape with everything going on in the world right now. So this segment did what I really needed it for to do. So
yeah, you needed laughs.
Yeah.
You know, Byron Saxton doing the exaggerated hell yeah. Him raiding Steve Austin, him getting stunned and kicked in the dick. Like, you needed all this to laugh to.
Yeah.
All the shit that's going on in the world. That was a great escape for that time period.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe that's why I'm not being too critical with these shows, because let's be honest, wrestling's the only, for you anyways, wrestling's the only thing you have to escape from it, because you have no sports right now.
I know, yeah. I basically have, like, NFL free agency, news, basically, and then the NFL draft, which is in April. That's it. There's no sports other than that.
Yeah, so I'm going to give Raw like a B+. I have a very biased rating, though, because I didn't have to sit through the men's rumble again. I was able to fast forward it. So, but I'm giving it a B+. I'm giving it an 89 out of 100. I liked about everything on it. The only thing I really, didn't do anything for him was Becky Lynch's promo, as you could tell, because that's the only thing I didn't remember. So,
exactly. I don't remember it either.
So, yeah, there you go. And then we have what do you grade Raw?
89 out of 100. For the first like live Raw, I felt like they interspersed like live action, and it was, you know, counteracted with the previous footage from the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
I felt like that was, you know, it helped, because you can't, like, as much as I don't like it, because I want like wrestling for 3 hours on Monday night, but you can't have that at this time, because it's just not, people aren't going to watch it. Yeah. So if you intersperse like the men's Rumble, the triple threat match was this week. On SmackDown was the Elimination Chamber men's tag. Like, you have to do that to break it up a little bit. Or else it's just match after match after promo with no one in the arena. It's not going to get over.
Yes.
So I like what they did.
Technically there was no backstage, but there was a little something on backstage. So they're doing this new series now where Paige, I guess, is going to have like various guests watch past matches. Renee Young, actually. She had Paige on this week. They watched like the first NXT Women's Championship match with her and Emma. Then they watched the triple threat match from WrestleMania 32 with Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte for the Raw Women's Championship. Well, just the women's title at the time, anyways. What is now known as the Raw Women's Championship. They talked about some things. They talked about like Simone Johnson transitioning into WWE. They answered some questions from fans. I think this is just going to be a new revenue for a bit, since they don't have backstage for a little bit. So they're just going to do this for a few weeks or until this thing goes away. It's fairly enjoyable to watch. Paige accidentally swears in the video, which wasn't supposed to happen. They mentioned, like the first crop of guys in NXT, like, you know, because they were talking a lot about that in the first match, because that was when, you know, all those crop of guys were down there, and they mentioned Renee Young's husband, who they can't say by name. And I was actually kind of hoping, because Paige, like, Renee Young was at home, like, he was going to walk in the background or something like that. So I wonder if they, like, this is the type of stuff I think about sometimes. So I wonder if they had to, like, tell Renee Young, like, okay, you got to go somewhere where, like, no one's going to walk behind you in the background.
That's what Moxley said, like, because she's not in the same company as him, they can't be, like, in the same room if they're doing something like that. Like, when they did the interview with Moxley in AEW, like, he had to be in his backyard. He couldn't even be anywhere near Renee.
Yeah, so it's kind of that's hilarious. That's just the type of stuff I think about, though. So
it's fucking hysterical.
Yeah. I wonder if the same thing's gonna happen now with Matt and Jeff Hardy. Now, if you think about it, because
yeah, because they live in the same compound together, pretty much.
I'm assuming Matt has rights when it comes to his youth. Oh yeah, but I was just say, but WWE's probably gonna be like, well, why are you doing that? So that's gonna be tough.
Yeah, they'll figure it out though.
Then we have the bump. Then we have the bump for March 20th, which was hosted by Matt Camp and Evan Mack. This was basically a makeup because they didn't have one. They just did all recaps. The bump's very weird right now, obviously, because typically they have like the typical crew, but because of the situation going on right now, only like 2 people like actually in the studio because everything going on. But they did some interviews. They had like Braun Strowman get interviewed. They talked about like basically his past. They talked about like his father being like this famous baseball player. How he got his name, which I didn't know. Like there's like some guy that's named like Ray Braun or something in baseball, and that's where his name came from. And they brought Drake Maverick on, talked about their friendship. They brought on like Alexa Bliss, talked about their team, and they interviewed Alexa Bliss for a little bit. They talked about that cringy song that she's in now that I don't like.
Ducks.
And she said that's her favorite band. I'm not. She needs to like open up like music variety because that's not. I mean, I only heard that one song, but it's
Trash.
And then they did the Bump 100 where Dan Vollmeyer had to try to say everything that he thought about wrestling in like 100 seconds. He always goes over. I mean, we do that anyways with the radio show by accident, so it's only fair he does. They interviewed Jeff Hardy for like a minute because Jeff Hardy's not really known for doing those types of interviews. The only notable thing that really was brought up though was he's getting his own theme song back.
I heard that.
Yeah, so that was where it was confirmed. He's getting his old theme song back. I'm really excited about it. I don't know when he's getting it back. I'm assuming he'll have it. He has to have it on like the next SmackDown if they've made the announcement there.
Yeah, because they're taping stuff soon, or already are.
If he's not, if he doesn't have it by these next few shows, he's gonna have it like the next live show they do.
Yeah.
And then he talked about some other things. He talked about his brother that he can't say by name. So there you go. And then they interviewed Xavier Woods. They were debating TV shows. They talked about like his mental health because he sent out like a tweet. I'm assuming you know about the tweet. Like not that long ago, we had to take like a break from like social media because he just can't because he says that he hates the fact that he can't go out there and wrestle. He just basically got to keep busy with all these things he's doing.
I mean, I can't blame him.
Yeah. So that was basically the bump in a nutshell. It's fairly enjoyable. I enjoyed the Braun Strowman part. I enjoyed the Jeff Hardy part. I thought it was kind of hilarious because I had just heard about that news story like Braun Strowman like trashed a kid or like this kid's like the charity that they're doing, and we hear like Braun Strowman trying to set one up himself and how he's like this heart of gold, and yeah, he's doing that, so that kind of was weird. But yeah, that's basically that. Now you can actually talk. We're gonna move on to SmackDown from this week. We had it was the March 20th episode, and they showed some things beforehand. Did like a little preview. They showed Rob Gronkowski arriving with Mojo. He was all hyped. They're definitely not following the social distancing rule, Mojo and Gronk. So if they get the coronavirus, they only have themselves to blame. Oh yeah. Shit. Well, I do it. But then I'm not monetized. And then they set up a match between like Miz and Morrison versus Heavy Machinery. That's the only time we're saying that, by the way, because I'm assuming we can get away with it once, but not twice, but not every 3 seconds.
What if it's the?
But yeah. I mean, we went over an hour though without saying it though, so that's good. If other people, if we had multiple people on, someone would have said it by now.
40 times by now.
So yeah, we had the show. We had Michael Cole, the only one on commentary. He's good, but he's definitely not good by himself. Like you can just tell, it's very awkward just hearing Michael Cole be on commentary by himself. Like, this is probably where they should bring Marlo in, because I think Marlo would be able to do this by himself. I don't know about Nigel, but definitely Marlo could. So, What did you think of Michael Cole? How do you think he did by himself?
Pretty good. I liked the beginning of the show. As cringy as it was, but they're short staffed right now, so I can't really blame them for anything.
Yeah, then it just kicked right off with Gronk debuting. He's not. Is he signed like officially? Yeah. I keep looking online, like on his Wikipedia, it says he's just doing something for WrestleMania. It doesn't say he's signed.
Yeah, he's signed officially.
So his entrance was awesome. He comes out walking normal, and then he because of his character and everything, they show him like dancing. He basically acts like a male stripper, like around the wind post. It was hilarious.
Fucking weird as hell.
And he talks about how he's been a fan of. He's definitely. You can tell when they see that's what they build Mojo Rawley's character around. Like it's basically Mojo Rawley in real life. Oh, I'm sorry. Mojo Rawley's character is basically what Gronk is. Yeah, he says he's been watching wrestling since I think he said he was in 2nd or 3rd grade, and he talks about like how he would always go to the shows. What a celebrity you would expect a celebrity to say. He says he's going to be the best WrestleMania host of all time, which I don't think it's going to be pretty tough to top The Rock. I don't think he's going to do that. Then King Corbin comes out and basically says, that he played in the NFL and basically, says you can't do this, which everything you expect someone in the business to say to Gronk. And then Elias comes out and sings his song. That part was terrible. And then Gronk pushes him over with Mojo like in the push-up position. And then Elias throws him over. And Gronk says, I can't make matches, but I'm going to abdicate for Baron Corbin versus Elias, or King Corbin versus Elias at WrestleMania. I actually like this segment a lot. I thought Gronk was awesome here. And you wouldn't expect me to say that with our text conversations about what it led to signing him and stuff, but I actually thought he was awesome. I think this is because this is the first time I'm really seeing Gronk. I've only heard of him, so this is the first time I've actually seen him. But I actually thought he was awesome. I definitely don't know how I would have been with a live crowd, so this is it. One good thing about this situation is it's actually going to give Gronk some exposure to doing this without the crowd, so at least, I don't know how he's going to be, though, once he actually has to do this in front of a crowd, though. That's going to be the big test. Honestly, I'm all for Gronk being in WWE if he's not going to be in a wrestling role, but it's going to happen anyways. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed the segment. I just didn't really enjoy where it led. Like it's just leading to a match between King Corbin and Elias. I don't really care for that. And like I said, why is Mojo Rawley on SmackDown all of a sudden? I don't really care about. I'm not into
Gronk.
that. But you could say it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that like Mojo Rawley's now randomly a babyface, but it wasn't really like he was doing a whole lot as a heel anyway. So I don't really care about that much.
I feel like the gimmick that he has suits him better as a babyface because he's high energy, big personality. It just suits him better as a babyface.
I really hope they don't do like this, eventually, because you can see WWE doing this. Like eventually, like he'll turn on Gronk, and I hope they don't do that. That would be really dumb. So he's back. I see he's back in the chat now.
Yeah, I just added him back in because he sent me a message saying he wanted to be back in, so I did.
I forgot.
I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't go to that because I don't want to see that match.
That would suck.
An untrained former professional football player who's lanky as fuck against someone who's we'll call it a Hall of Famer at best.
Yeah.
Mojo Rawley, baby, the greatest superstar in the history of professional wrestling.
This is very weird then, because months ago, I remember you were trying to sell me on trying to, them signing Gronk, and, I was hated on it. Now it's kind of reversed for some weird reason.
I just don't like it. that I'm sick and tired of Gronk.
So
I've watched his antics for the past fucking 9 years. That's the partying, the fucking acting like a fucking tool. I've watched that tenfold every year. I'm done with it.
now you're gonna see it in WWE.
Fuck
So maybe that's why, because
WWE.
I haven't seen Gronk act this way. I haven't seen Gronk ever really. So
Yeah.
you know,
That's new to you, but it's like the shit that I've been seeing for like a long time.
However, though, so Gronk did cause the ratings to go up. They were up at like I actually have it right here. Hold on, just give me a minute. It was like 2.5 something. It was, and of course now I don't have it because it. Oh no, I have it. They were up at so last week's SmackDown was at 2.47 million viewers, and this week was at 2.537 million viewers. Not as high as I thought they were gonna go. I thought they'd be at like 3 million. I think that kind of proves, in a sense, that Gronk's not as big of a star as John Cena. Because when Cena came back, it was at 3 million. I really can't say this is because of Gronk because because of everything going on right now. There's no sports. No one can go and no one can really go anywhere. Who's to say they wouldn't have been this rated anyways? So I'm really. I think Gronk being on SmackDown is going to help the ratings, but I don't know if it's going to help long term because, like I said, because if SmackDown was sucking anyway, so Gronk I don't if Gronk is there or not, if the show sucks, no one's going to watch it. That's just, like Ronda Rousey didn't help all the way shows when they were at like the lowest ratings. But we'll see. We're gonna see what happens. But yeah. So then we had Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak versus Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura with Sami Zayn on commentary. I thought Sami Zayn was good on commentary, but I just watched AEW not that long ago, so I just seen Jericho on commentary, so it wasn't as good as compared to that. Yeah, this match was absolutely awesome, though. I really love, too, how they're doing the yes chant when nobody's there, and Daniel Bryan's going to, like, point it out. I think that's really funny. And Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak actually get the win. I really like the way they got the win with, like, the arm track roll-up and stuff. It's kind of Drew Gulak training Daniel Bryan. Sami Zayn was really upset.
Great.
Huh?
It's a great storyline.
Yeah. And then... they were doing even more. Backstage, Sami Zayn was pissed. And this is when they coined the phrase the August Collective, which I don't like that name. Daniel Bryan, challenges Sami Zayn to an Intercontinental Championship match at WrestleMania. Sami Zayn says, okay, I'll do it, but Drew Gulak's going to defeat Shinsuke Nakamura next week. I was very confused about the segment at first, though, because I thought they were doing a triple threat match, because they would mention, like, Gulak and stuff, and then they kind of, they helped later, but I thought at first they were doing a triple threat, and then I was very confused. But I'm actually all for this. This makes Drew Gulak come off as, like, legit, because now he's going to be the one that gets, like, Daniel Bryan the title match, which I kind of think is a nice little story.
It's a fucking huge rub, too, also.
It's really cool because like Daniel Bryan like is putting all his baskets into Drew Gulak so he can get a title match, and he has like faith in him. Like it wasn't one of those things where like he asked about it, Daniel Bryan was like not really feeling it, so he had to think about it. Then he went sure, like he immediately like said yes, which was great. And then I actually like this direction versus like doing Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman because if they did that match, like Sami Zayn would have gone like squash because of the storyline that they were going to set up. So. Well, that would have been nice, but like I actually would rather see like Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn because that'd be a fantastic match.
Definitely.
What'd you think of everything they did with the Intercontinental Championship picture?
It's good. I like it. I like what they're doing with it. It's definitely going places, and it's the right feud. You got fucking Sami Zayn, you got Cesaro, you got Gulak, you got Bryan. It all works.
Absolutely. Then Paige returns not in the. They made it seem like she was going to return in the ring, but she was on via Skype, which I was disappointed about. I should have known that was going to happen because WWE does this so often, but I guess I was just a fool this day. Daniel Bryan. I'm sorry, not Daniel Page. Because I was still thinking about Daniel Bryan. I don't even think she really gets to get like a sentence out really until like the Boston Hug connection come out, and they just talk shit to Paige. So this is what doesn't make any sense. So earlier in the show, since Gronk, the host of WrestleMania, he can't make matches, but somehow he or Paige can make. Paige gets pulled from Fox to make matches. That doesn't make any sense. And then Paige basically makes a 6-pack challenge. It's going to be Bayley defending the SmackDown Women's title against Naomi, Tamina Snuka, who hasn't been on TV in like 3 years. Which Bayley even says that. Dana Brooke, and Sasha Banks. And then like it gets really tense. Like, ooh, yeah, now I'm in the match now. Like Sasha smiles and then Bayley's upset, and this segment really sucked. It was poorly laid out. I think the way they had the Skype call, like Paige would say something, and then the Boston Hug connection like would talk over her, and then vice versa.
It's hard to do that with Skype.
Yeah, it was really bad. I read online that they didn't do the match at WrestleMania because then WWE were like, oh shit, we forgot we got to book a SmackDown Women's title match, and they didn't have enough time to do Bayley versus Sasha Banks. That just proves that like Raw superior. That just proves right there Raw superior to SmackDown because SmackDown literally forgot. Oh shit, we forgot to build this feud. Like, I know Sasha Banks is injured. I know that Sasha Banks is injured and stuff, but like literally they could have done like said, hey, well Bayley's turning heel on this show. Sasha Banks is coming to SmackDown. Let's build it from here on. And it literally would have worked. But no, SmackDown went, oh shit, we forgot WrestleMania's coming up. Like, it's so stupid. Like,
Now they can't do it.
Yeah. How did they forget WrestleMania was coming up? Like, what are they?
Because they're
like,
dumb.
Only WWE would do this type of shit. Like, I'd be like, me like having like a school project for like a week or like 3 months, and then realizing, oh shit, I have no, like the day before, oh shit, I have no time to do it now. I'm just gonna take it now. Like,
exactly what it is.
Huh?
It's exactly what it is.
Like, what the hell is this? Like, this was dumb. What do you think of this segment? I thought it was terrible. Like,
it's mediocre.
Then it showed John Cena versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 30. I didn't want to watch that because it led to the death of a character right there. And I don't like watching characters and people slowly die. So,
what if he wasn't slowly dying though? What if he was slowly not dying?
Well, I wasn't watching that. He should have won that match at WrestleMania. We wouldn't be in this spot we are.
What if he was just slowly saying, "Hey, it's good."
You're saying that because he became. You're saying that now because he became the Fiend. But if he had won this match at WrestleMania 36 years ago, we wouldn't even be in this spot right now. We'd still have the same Bray Wyatt and all this type of stuff. Like this, it's stupid that he won, and you know it. So don't even try.
What happens if they just go, "Hey, 6 years ago this match happened. Bray Wyatt got squashed. Let's just do it again and have Bray Wyatt get squashed again."
Notice how there was that guy Luke Harper there, by the way. What happened to him? Was that guy?
Oh, the Exalted one?
Yeah, who was Luke Harper? Like,
don't even know who that is. Fuck, who the fuck are these people?
Yeah, who's Jeff Hardy's brother? Who's Renee Young's husband? Who's this guy that used to be in the Wires that like never blinked? Who are these guys? Like,
they're just like random people, I guess. Never even heard of them.
Anyhow, what do you think of the fact that they showed John Cena versus Bray Wyatt again at WrestleMania? Did you watch it? Did you?
Yes, but not on this episode, though.
Oh, did you watch it on ESPN?
Yeah.
So you like to watch people and characters slowly die, I guess, don't you?
Yeah, it was great. I loved watching it.
What kind of person are you?
I fucking loved watching it. It's fucking phenomenal. I love watching a fat, overweight Bray Wyatt lose.
Apparently. Then Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross get interviewed. Alexa Bliss challenges Asuka to a match. It was very scripted, very bad. Really didn't care about it. What do you think?
Bad.
Then we have the Miz and John Morrison versus Heavy Machinery. They do a dirt sheet segment where the Miz and John Morrison are wondering like who can face them for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And they're saying we're gonna look for people in the crowd, and it's just them dressed up as like the New Day, the Usos, and Heavy Machinery. Just go watch it; it's hilarious. Like they're dressed up as they're not even dressed up as Heavy Machinery. Actually, they're dressed up as bacon, which they kept calling ham. You know. Which is hilarious. I wonder if Canadians were confused about this though, because
Yeah.
Then the Usos' impression was awesome, and then they pretty much said they have no challenges for them to face at WrestleMania. So then it led to Heavy Machinery coming out. They have a little bit of a match, and then Dolph Ziggler comes out to do commentary. He shows pictures that him and Mandy Rose have been taking together. Which actually, if you followed Mandy Rose, I believe, on Instagram, you actually saw these pictures ahead of time, which is kind of funny.
It is funny.
And I'm like, okay, this is. I actually thought at first, wait, are they really together? But like, no, they're just playing this up as storyline. And then, wait, boom, it was just used for the storyline. And Otis goes nuts. He destroys the tag team champions. Or I should say the SmackDown Tag Team Champions anyways. We don't want to have to... then we got to start having that debate again. Like, oh, this is tag team titles. No, but it's...
No, because it's what they are.
Then, he puts actually the Miz and Morrison through the barricade, and Tucker tries to calm him down, but he fails. And it really didn't make any sense that it led to an EQ finish, because they should have both been counted out because they were out of the win longer than 10 seconds. This isn't that AEW rules bullshit. Don't put that on me. This should have been a double count out. And, I actually thought the DQ finish was awesome, though. But I just not really a fan that, like, the SmackDown tag title match should be these three teams, obviously with Robert Roode teaming with Ziggler, for the titles instead of the Miz and Morrison versus, Kofi and Big E versus the Usos, because that just kind of seems like an odd fit. Feels very thrown together. That actually would have purpose if you did that triple threat match instead. But what do you think of all of this?
I mean, I like your idea, but also too, I think it would be better if it was just like a mixed tag, six-person tag.
Yep.
With Heavy Machinery and Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville and Ziggler.
Well, they're probably gonna go. Knowing what they did with the SmackDown was how they're probably gonna go. Oh shit, we got no time now. Just throw a bunch of matches on there. Shit, we forgot. Bullshit.
Sorry. Fuck off.
Then we had the WWE Universal.
There's the match.
Then we had like the WWE Universal Championship contract signing. It was just very meh. Roman Reigns came out. Goldberg came up. His entrance looks kind of crappy when there's nobody there and just in front
performance.
Yeah.
Male performance.
Goldberg talks about how you're not going to beat me. He thought that like Roman Reigns. Actually, if you think his promo made no sense. So he was hoping. Did he say he was hoping that he said he thought it was going to be Roman Reigns, but then he just didn't think he had the guy. Like what are you talking about? Like how could you think it's going to be him, but not? But then like. What are you doing right there? Like, I thought it was gonna be you, but then I didn't think you had the guts. Like, what are you doing? Roman Reigns was
guts. Well, if he didn't have any guts, he wouldn't be living because he wouldn't have any guts inside of him.
What is Goldberg doing? Then Roman Reigns starts saying like, that he's a part-time, all this type of stuff, and then Michael Cole like. Shows this. I feel like too. Maybe I misheard it. I thought he was supposed to show a tweet from like Goldberg, but then he showed the tweet from Roman Reigns instead. I think that was a mess up right there. Unless Michael Cole fucked up and messed up his words, and it shows.
He could have. He does it very often.
like this tweet that Roman Reigns apparently like sent out back in January, but I never saw this tweet in January, so, but I don't have Twitter, so that totally looks like it was like Photoshop. So it's like, what are we doing? Talks about like he makes a joke about how Goldberg like headbutted a door, so then Goldberg's like, you're gonna feel the headbutt, but it's not gonna be towards the door. It's gonna be towards you, and then. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to be really. Roman Reigns gonna be scared now. Ooh. Magic fingers right here. Ooh.
Ooh, look at that. He's gonna go find him.
And then like Goldberg tips over the table. They kind of like get close to each other. It's kind of awkward, and I just kind of actually this segment kind of sucked. Now that I talk about it, maybe it's just the way I'm talking about it, but it kind of like
he's scary.
Yeah. It just kind of hurt my interest in the WrestleMania match, so I don't really care about it now. And I just think now, like, they could have just left the title on the Fiend all this time now. It's like, we didn't really need to do this now. Like, just, yeah. I thought it kind of sucked. Like, the match probably will be awesome. Actually, that match is going to suffer, too, from not having any crowd, if you think about it, because that's kind of what Goldberg's match is all about, and it's just not really feeling it. Like, can we just, like, just
it's what it is. It's like, this is what they wanted to do, and it's just like, it sucks.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
Because it doesn't need the Universal Championship.
Goldberg doesn't
Roman Reigns doesn't need the Universal Championship. He's doing just fine without it. And
Goldberg doesn't really need to be wrestling right at all right now. Like, no, not.
It's frustrating because that Universal Championship would have been much, 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 much better if it was in a feud with Bray Wyatt and John Cena.
Yeah,
it's what it is. Like, it's stupid that it's not Bray Wyatt versus John Cena for the Universal Championship.
Yeah,
so it should be. Because that match has purpose. That match has history. That match has a built-in story. Whereas Roman Reigns versus Bill Goldberg is spear versus spear. Wow, what a tagline. They do the same fucking move. Great. What else more do they do? Because clearly Bill Goldberg sucks on promos and Roman Reigns is pretty good on the mic.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, one of the lines I just said that just proves how much he sucks on the microphone. Like
it's just bad.
I thought the show though, other than that though, was like this is probably the week of like the 3 empty arena shows we reviewed. I still thought it was good. I'll give it like a B-. I'll give it like an 84 out of 100. What really brought it down was that like Boston Hell Connection segment and the ending segment. Those all sucked. So
give it an 80. Just specifically for that, give it an 80. The fact that the Universal Championship is such a fucking useless feud.
Oh yeah, and I forgot because you don't like Gronk. So
it's an 80.
All right, I'm on the 205 Live from the same day. Same people on commentary. We had Joaquin Wilde versus Danny Burch. This match was very good. Really enjoyed it. Joaquin Wilde hit this awesome like forearm off of the stands, which was kind of cool because he wouldn't have been able to do this if they were like not in the empty arena. So that was cool. Danny Burch won with a crossface. I wanted to see that happen. I actually like Danny Burch. I wanted to see him win, and I was just satisfied. I like seeing Danny Burch win matches. So, yeah. What do you think of this match?
It was good. It was very good.
And then we already talked about John Cena praising 205 Live. Then we had Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Oney Lorcan. This match was good, but way too short. This is kind of where I say 205 Live needs to go back to being an hour because if this show was an hour, this match would have had more time. Isaiah Swerve Scott won. I'm assuming after NXT UK this week, he'll be like the next guy that gets a cruiserweight title match because he's so awesome. So yeah, that match is very good. What do you think of this match?
It was awesome. It was really, really good.
I like both guys too, anyways.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. 205 Live was really good. I give it like, an 84 out of 100. It was an 85 out of 100. It was really good. So
Yeah, I agree. Same thing.
I mean, we were able to get through it in like two seconds. That's
Yeah.
um,
I mean, it's a great match. Like, watch the fucking match. Who doesn't
nothing
like
more.
Tony Lorcan versus Isaiah Stewart? Two fucking phenomenal wrestlers. Like, watch the fucking match and you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. So
You don't need us to tell you that. Just read the names on the fucking billboard. Whatever. Read the names and you'll fucking watch the match.
yeah.
This is that good.
Then we had Raw from this week. It was from I think the 23rd. Yeah, 23rd.
Yeah, because yesterday.
And yeah, this week no Jerry the Kim Lawler on commentary. I don't know why.
Due to he's just because of his age, he's at higher risk, and they don't want to risk it. So that's when he just stays home.
Even though didn't he like say on like not that he wasn't afraid of it, so it's like so that was kind of weird.
I mean, it's their choice at this point. Like last week there wasn't much of a concern.
Yeah.
This week there's a whole lot more concern.
One news thing, they're also really testing Roman Reigns because he's really not immune. What's it called? Like he can really he's really accustomed to getting it, obviously because of his past health.
Yeah, Roman's very he's not because his immune system is I wouldn't say weakened, but yeah, a little bit like is compromised in some way. So
yeah,
he's more susceptible to getting it, which sucks because he's had leukemia twice.
Yeah,
and he's a relatively young guy, and very physical, he's an athlete, so he could beat this if he got it. But I'd rather not see him get it.
Yeah. Especially once he gets it, then the whole company would get shut down too, probably.
Oh yeah, because just it'd be like sports around the world shutting down. WWE be shut down because that's their main guy, and he's around all the time. So
yeah, so
can't really risk that.
That's why they'll probably be extra cautious.
Yeah, it's smart.
All right, so that starts off with the Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman promo. Paul Heyman talks about how Drew McIntyre may have gotten the upper hand on Brock Lesnar, but that's not really when it counted. He's really going to get the job done at WrestleMania. But he said even though he wouldn't get the job done at WrestleMania, he still is a made guy by laying out Brock Lesnar 3 times. So I like that. Even though he's trying to thrash him, he's actually kind of putting Drew McIntyre over a little bit in his promo.
Yeah.
And basically he says that it's going to be a massacre at WrestleMania. I think I referenced a different promo, but he basically says the same thing here. So
yeah, it's the same promo they had 2 weeks ago.
It was still awesome though. It really worked in
awesome,
that atmosphere. This week on Raw too, they actually have the camera angles different. Like typically on these empty arena shows, they've been showing the whole crowd and nobody's there. This time they kind of only showed the win this time, so thought that was good. Then we had it showed the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match between Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Seth Rollins from Royal Rumble 2015. I noticed they had to do this twice because if you remember on show when they had to have no show back in 2015, they had to do it again. So I kind of thought that came full circle. I mean, the matches that they're showing though, it's not like they're showing them for no reason. They have purpose, like the John Cena Bray Wyatt match. This match had a reason because it showed how dominant Brock Lesnar can be. So I actually kind of like that a lot. Then the OC come out to do a promo. More AJ Styles bashing the Undertaker's age. He shows a video of Undertaker at that zoo with him and Michelle McCool, which was kind of something cool because this is kind of the first time he's been out of character on WWE television doing that. So that was kind of cool. He talks about how he said he was going to originally make Undertaker rest in peace, but Michelle McCool's already done that. And, he then challenges Undertaker to a, what's it called? A great broken
some weird, not a graveyard match, the fuck did he call it? Bone something match.
Yeah, boneyard match or something
that. Boneyard match.
I mean, that could be something
boneyard
unique.
match.
That could be something unique, but I hope it's not just like they say that and it just ends up being like an ODQ match. Like, you know how they have like those gimmicks like that. I hope they actually do something creative with this. I'm just gonna say this now, man. AJ Styles, you're making this really personal, man. I feel like
Oh no, you're the fanboy.
Yeah, I'm just saying. No. This isn't me. You're knocking on a door you don't want to be knocking on. I mean, I get you only knocked on Alistair Black's door, but you're knocking on a completely other door that you don't want to be knocking on. So just don't. If you get your ass handed to you at WrestleMania, don't you only have yourself to blame on this one. So, what do you think of this segment though? Otherwise,
it was good.
Yeah,
AJ got his point across. Yeah, don't know what the fuck a boneyard match is. I hope it's not like in the performance center and like they just put bones in the ring and that's it.
Yeah. Do some.
I hope it's kind of like in a graveyard or something like that, like a set, like a graveyard set or something like that.
I actually think they could like pull something out of this too. We'll see. Yeah, so I'm excited about it. Then it's Andrade, Angel Gaza, and Selena Vega got interviewed. Charlie Caruso got distracted by Angel Gaza, even though he's engaged, so he's off the market right now. I don't know what you're doing.
She's gay.
Huh?
And she's gay.
So yeah, they how do you know that?
Because she has a girlfriend.
Oh, so that was kind of weird then. Unless her girlfriend was like standing in the background or something, that would have made more sense.
Yeah, they post like pictures of them kissing on Instagram all the time.
And then so then they just talk about how they're gonna win the Raw Tag Team. This interview was actually no good. Selena Vega could cut some good promos, but this was not one of them. Just what I feel like she was just more mad we're not getting that 4-way match now, so I just didn't really pay attention to what they said. So, because you just take storylines and just throw them away. So,
stupid.
Then it led to a tag team match with them versus Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. Really couldn't get into this match. It was very good, but I'm just look at Ricochet and I look at Cedric Alexander. It's just wow, what wasted talents they've been. They basically like got squashed in this match. They barely got any offense in. They got some, but like it was just more to showcase like Andrade and Angel Gaza. And the finish was a botch. Cedric Alexander legitimately got knocked out, so he didn't kick out of his Judas effect.
Yeah, well, it was brutal.
So, probably Chris Jericho didn't take the opportunity to do like my finish was better than yours type of thing. Maybe he did, and I just haven't seen the tweet yet. So, yeah, Andrade and Angel Gaza won, which I guess is fine because you're building them up to face the Raw Tag Team Champions. But I'm just sitting here wondering why is this match even happening to begin with. We'll get your thoughts after we cover this next. Afterwards, the Street Profits come in and attack them, and they just really didn't sell me on the WrestleMania match. Then it was the Street Profits versus Shane Thorne and Brendan Vick, I think his name was. There's some big dude that like got destroyed in like no time at all. It really didn't make much sense though. What are they doing here? Like, wouldn't it make more sense for the heels to have the easier match than the faces? Like, that doesn't really get the faces over as faces or the heels as heels. Like, that just really didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Oh, yeah.
Why did the Street Profits, like, it took the Street Profits, like, these two teams, I get we know Shane Thorne from NXT, they got way too much offense. It should have been more of a quicker match than it was. Like, they, like, barely squeaked by a win. Like, I don't want to look at my Raw Tag Team Champions and be like, wow, you could barely beat two nobodies that nobody even knows. So, yeah, I'm not having any of this. This is shit. This tag title match is shit. What do you think of everything they did?
Pure?
Huh?
Was it pure shit?
Not pure shit, no. But this was shit. What do you think of this, everything they did to build up to the Raw Tag Team title match?
It was, I mean, it had to do what it had to do. I mean, it's okay. Nothing special.
So they've done that 4-way match.
Yes.
Well, if they do the 4-way match on like a gold. on like the go home episode before WrestleMania, and just really pissed me off. Shayna Baszler got interviewed. Charlie Caruso was very scared because it's Shayna Baszler and she's this big tough girl. I actually really like this interview. I think it being in the empty arena really made it work. She talked about how she likes to make people suffer, and she said the reason she wants the Raw Women's Championship is to make Becky Lynch suffer, which actually makes sense because that's like basically everything that Becky Lynch is built around. So I better not see like her take the title and then Becky Lynch come out all smiling, dancing around, which is probably going to happen anyways. And then Becky Lynch,
they should make it a dancing character.
Becky Lynch came up out of nowhere and hit Shayna Baszler a couple of times with the steel chair. This was fine.
Make Shayna Baszler the Funkadactyls.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious. This segment, I mean, she was a Rosebud at one point, so this segment was fine though. I thought it built nicely to the WrestleMania match. I think because of this situation, it kind of took the steam off of the build up to this match though for some reason. Like this match has suffered the most out of all of them. But what do you think of this segment?
Loved it.
Yeah, there you go.
Got him over. Got them both over.
Aleister Black squashed Leon Ruff. That's the weirdest wrestler name I ever heard in my life. This match actually strangely worked because it had nobody in the crowd. Like, it actually really got over Aleister Black's character. I kind of wish, I actually would like them to show more matches of him in front of nobody because it really, I don't know, to me, I just thought it really worked. Like, because when he did this, like, sit-down crisscross applesauce, like, thing, like, the guy was even like, what is he doing? And I don't know, I just thought it really worked. So,
yeah, it did. I liked it.
They're doing Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. Really random. The match probably will be fine, but why is the match happening? And I would have preferred like Aleister Black to face somebody else at WrestleMania. I don't know who else, but anybody else than Bobby Lashley. So whatever. I'm not feeling that match. What do you think of the fact that doing Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley?
Random as hell.
Kevin Owens comes out to do a promo. He talks about how actually, he really doesn't get to say much because Seth Rollins was supposed to come out, so he's just like, you know what, you're just going to talk shit about me anyways, I'll just be out here and listen. Seth Rollins comes out and says, you thought that you had the home field advantage, but I was the one that built the Performance Center, that built NXT, and I'm the reason, that all these guys like Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, and the Undisputed Era are, in WWE now. I set the platform, which is technically true because he was like the first NXT champion and all this type of stuff. He talks about how he has like epic WrestleMania moments. Just go through the network. You'll know what they are. And Kevin Owens has barely any. He wasn't even at last year's WrestleMania. I was actually kind of hoping he was going to get like a Kofi Mania in there because that's kind of why Kevin Owens didn't get his WrestleMania moment last year. But he didn't.
Kofi Mania.
Huh?
It's Kofi Mania, baby.
But I really liked this segment. It was really awesome. I thought Seth Rollins came off great as a heel. And like I said, this really made me not really sure who's going to win this match. So I really enjoyed this. What do you think of this segment?
I can't wait for this matchup. This is probably one of the more excited I am. I'm excited for this match. I like this feud a lot.
Then it showed the SmackDown Women's Championship match from WrestleMania 34 when Charlotte Flair conquered Asuka's undefeated streak. And then she kind of talked about that, talked about, she's trying to make it seem like that this is still like a big stage, which it still kind of is, but that storyline really doesn't work now because Rhea Ripley kind of has the advantage now. So there you go. I still like the feud. It's just because of the situation, it kind of took the steam off this feud because the whole point of this match was that Rhea Ripley wasn't experienced, but now Rhea Ripley's has the advantage now, so it's kind of weird. What do you think of the interview?
It was good. It's a lot of talking.
Yes.
Not a whole lot of fighting, but now they're gonna fight finally.
Randy Orton responds to Edge's WrestleMania challenge. Before that, though, because he can't just come out and say I accept. You gotta have more of a hook than that, buddy.
Yeah.
He talks about he basically just kind of buries Edge's promo. He talks about how, I wasn't handed, while I got this job handed to me, I didn't become the man that I am, the youngest world heavyweight champion, and destroyed Mick Foley, got into Evolution, and made RKO the three most destructive letters. I got it because I have more grit than you, and maybe our definitions of grit is different than yours. He talks about how he lied to Beth Phoenix, saying that he Edge's addiction was the crowd, but it's Edge's ego because he wanted to come back. He wasn't sitting around on his couch thinking, "What if?" He has been tearing the world down, and he's accomplished things that most people in the locker room have never accomplished and wouldn't ever have the opportunity to accomplish. And then he says that he accepts the WrestleMania challenge. He's going to destroy Edge at WrestleMania. He's not doing it because he hates him. He's doing it because he loves him. So it's an awesome promo, and you should just really go watch it. So, what do you think of this?
Yeah, just watch the fucking promo.
Yeah, it was awesome. I thought Raw was really good. Give it like an 86 out of 100. The only thing I really didn't like was the fact that they're building up a Raw tag title match I don't care about. So, I don't need that in my life. So, what do you think of it? What do you rate Raw?
I give it an 85. It was good.
Now moving on, NXT is we're going to take like 3 seconds to talk about. It was a clip show. Some people are mad about it, but I can't really blame NXT because they just basically lost months of storyline because the TakeOver Tampa is being postponed, so they pretty much don't know. That was basically going to be the whole build-up, so they can't really do a show if they don't have a destination. So, I can't really hate on them for doing a clip show because they have to kind of, they basically have to resurface everything and basically restructure their storylines now. So, what I mean, did you hate the fact they did this clip show, or were you fine with it?
I was okay with it. I mean, it is what it is. They had to do what they had to do.
Yeah. I mean, NXT got destroyed in the ratings. I'll just say that now, but I feel like it was great. It was pretty obvious they were going to get destroyed in the ratings. It was pretty much not a clip show versus an actual wrestling show. It's pretty obvious what was going to win that ratings war. So this is another occasion where the ratings I don't think should count for this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they shouldn't have counted what NXT did when AEW didn't have a show around Christmas time. Then NXT did.
Yeah. Yeah, but it aired on March 11th, 2020. It was hosted by Tom Phillips and Triple H. Basically, it was just kind of showing all some past moments. They showed the entire DIY feud from when they got signed, training the Performance Center, all the way up to like the Portland match. It was really cool because they did like little things where they showed like Tommaso Ciampa talking about his side of the story, Johnny Gargano talking about his side of the story. I really liked how even when Ciampa was like the heel, that he didn't like. Since he's at the face now in this feud, he didn't really like say, they didn't, because in the main roster they would have like spun it now. Where like he was actually the good guy in that situation. No, he actually said like, yeah, I was the bad guy in that situation. So it's kind of like, at least they didn't do like the whole thing where like they flipped it like that. Where now he's like the face in that situation. So kind of like that they didn't do that. Just go watch it. It definitely will hype.
Watch the whole show.
It would definitely hype you for the last match that they're going to have in the program because they show everything. Finn Balor, they show everything he has ever done in his career. He talked about like how he's the best wrestler in the world. This actually thing was really awesome. Finn Balor talked about how when he came to the main roster, suddenly Jinder Mahal, Bobby Lashley, and some other Baron Corbin were having the best matches in the world because they were facing him. And if you kind of think about what Finn Balor said, it was after the match that he had with Jinder Mahal when he got like that main roster test Jinder, test him right to the main event type of thing.
Exactly.
So it was kind of like, brought some light. He actually kind of talked about the block match a little bit, how he like lost this like edginess that he has now in NXT, where after the block match, he said that he found out something that was missing to him, and then he kind of talked about his whole NXT one. He kind of utilized it to call out Walter, because that match is happening at some point. So that was awesome. They didn't mention anything. The only thing I didn't like about that was they didn't really mention like the Fiend match, because that's really the match that they really should have talked about, that like flipped the switch into Finn Balor, because that's kind of what the main roster is saying. So it's kind of like NXT really didn't kind of address that. because he got squashed in that match. So I feel like he should have said like I had to put over like the new hot gimmick in WWE and stuff like that, and it really lit a fire under me because then he was gone afterwards and all that type of stuff. So I think they should have addressed that, but they didn't. And then they did Rhea Ripley. I will say you to watch the video package, let alone because Rhea Ripley, if you watch it like when she started in the first Mae Young Classic, you wouldn't even believe it's Rhea Ripley now. Like she's so different now. But
she's very different.
You know, they talk it like she kind of talks about her career in a nutshell. Talks about like how they would compare it to like the Charlotte Flairs and all these other blonde people, Lana, and you know that's like when I was like, okay, yeah, that's an insult right there, comparing her to Lana wrestling wise. She talks about like her one in the NXT UK division, and then obviously basically her whole career in a nutshell. Just go watch the clip show. It's what WWE does best is production. So I'm not gonna grade this show because it's really not a show, but I mean I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good watch. So just go watch it. Now on to NXT UK. If you think about it too, because of NXT UK's taping, they're going to be the most unique show out of everything because they're the only ones right now in front of a live crowd that we're reviewing anyways. So
yeah.
It was it aired on March 19th, 2020. It was episode 87. It was commentated by Nigel McGuinness and Andy Shepard. I think that's going to be the new commentary team now.
It is, yeah.
Going forward. What do you think of the team? Do you like it? Do you hate it?
I like it, yeah. That's one thing I don't like is the fucking ring announcer sucks.
Yeah, she kind of sucks. But I mean, they had to put somebody out there. So I guess Vic Joseph's gone then, pretty much, because, he got kicked off Raw, and then I thought he'd go down to UK, and he's gone. He's completely gone now, so which kind of sucks. But it is what it is, I guess. All right, so Kaylee Ray squashed Dani Luna. I thought the match was kind of sloppy, mainly on Dani Luna's end. But afterwards, she goes to attack her some more, but then Piper never went out to make the save because that's going to be the next title feud. The thing is, we don't really know when any of this stuff's going to happen now. Ideally, it'd be at NXT UK TakeOver Ireland, but we don't even know that show can even happen at this point because it's supposed to air at like the end of April, like April 26th. But but we don't know what the situation with everything going to go on right now. But what did you think of the match and like everything they did afterwards with Piper Niven?
The match is okay, but I like the Piper Niven inclusion into it.
They did an angle afterwards where Dani Luna confronted Ginny. That's going to lead to a match. Ginny's probably going to beat her. I don't really care about Ginny. I'm the only one, but I don't care about Ginny. And then Tyler Bates backstage. What's up? Then Tyler Bates backstage because they showed the footage of when Finn Balor left the arena, and Tyler Bates wants basically a match with Finn Balor. But since Johnny said, well, we really can't do anything about that because of the whole like GM situation. I can't really say they were just saying that because this was all taped before this thing really took fire. So, but they announced they're going to do a 20-man battle royal. And whoever wins will get a NXT UK championship match against Walter at TakeOver Ireland. And Tyler Bates is going to be in it. So I think what's going to happen is I think Finn Balor is going to be in it. He's going to win it, and we're going to get that match at some point. What about you?
I would like that, yes.
And I think the last two will be Finn Balor and Tyler Bates because I think this segment set that up pretty well. So
it did, yeah.
Then it shows Eva Valkyrie's vignette, and Nina Samuels talks about how she's just a flash in the pan, and she says that she's going to deal with her next week. And when I deal with her, I'm going to be the only thing that people are going to be talking about in wrestling. So let's see. Let's come back to this in the next episode, Chris. Let's see after that match when if she deals with her. Let's see if that's the only thing we talk about. Like nothing else. It's the only nothing else compares to that. Do you want to see if that happens?
Yeah.
Let's see if that happens. So it's a video package for Ilya Dragunov. We had Cassius Ohno versus Kenny Williams. Everybody knows how I feel about Cassius Ohno now. He's lazy now, so I don't really care about any of his matches
He
anymore.
is a fat fucking human being.
I mean, how do you feel about this? Because I didn't see like his original one when he was healthy and all that. Well, I shouldn't say healthy, but you know what I mean. Like when he actually could, like when he actually had cardio and stuff. Like, how do you feel seeing Cassius Ohno in this state in his wrestling career?
He's fucking huge.
I think it's. Am I the only one? Like it's. I think it's time to call it a day. Like he's done. I think he's just gotta. He's gotta do something else. He can still be in the business, but he doesn't need to be wrestling anymore. Like it's getting sad at this point. He won with the Cassius lock, but he's doing the whole gimmick where
he's the gimmick. He's the wrestling genius.
But he's like undercutting the gimmick because he like, he did like the knock. I forget what he calls it, but like that elbow that he hits. And you get one with the Cassius lock. So I just don't care about nothing's gonna make me care about Cassius Ohno at this point. So, what did you think of this match?
What if he suddenly lost like 100 pounds?
If he works on his cardio, I'll care about him. Actually, the one thing I do care, I always look forward to when James is gonna be on the show because he always rants about Cassius Ohno. It's the greatest thing that he rants about. I love it. So. What do you think? What did you think of this match?
It was okay. I mean, it's Kenny Williams. Who cares?
Well, but Cassius Ohno, you care about him?
He's fat.
So, you gotta get that Scott Steiner out more. So.
He's just a fat piece of shit.
A Kid gets interviewed. Noam Dar.
Why did they let a kid get interviewed?
I don't know. Was Marco stunt backstage or something? Like
they just let a kid, just any kid.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But he's talking about how he's done so much. Maybe it was Nicholas that was backstage.
It could have been.
But yeah, he talks about everything he's done in NXT UK so far, and then he gets interrupted by Noam Dar, and it leads to a match next week. So I'm actually excited about that. I don't think you've seen A Kid wrestle yet, but once you see that match, you'll be impressed. So
a kid?
Yeah. Then it showed a build-up video package of the NXT Cruiserweight Championship match, hyping up Jordan Devlin versus Travis Banks. I find it hilarious because it really just shows how much of a loser Travis Banks is. Because the whole video.
Yeah, he's a fucking loser.
The whole video package is just him getting laid out by Jordan Devlin, pretty much.
He is a fucking loser. That's why.
I'm excited about this NXT Cruiserweight Championship match, though. I'm excited we're gonna get the title defended in NXT UK. But you know who's winning this match, though? It's gonna be Jordan
not the
Devlin.
Fucking loser. That's for certain.
Yeah, no way. What do you think of the video package, though?
It was good. Well, it's a good one.
Then it was Gallus versus Dave Massive, Flash Morgan Webster, and a mystery partner. It was supposed to be Mark Andrews. I forgot to break this part down. But it's earlier in the show. It showed
got beaten down.
Yeah, he got laid out. We don't know who took him out. I'm thinking it's the Hunt because they kind of walked by him and they didn't really care. So I'm thinking maybe they did it.
And the mystery partner was
Brent Seven. Because he was shown.
Not shocking.
Yeah, because the match was good. It was fine. Gallus won. I don't think anyone was surprised about that. They were clearly. I really like how they made it look like they were more of a unified team because they were basically just kicking Trent Seven, Flash Morgan Webster, and Dave Mass's ass throughout the whole match, and Gallus ended up winning the match. So I'm not really sure what's going on with Gallus though, because it seems like they switched from being faces to heels like week to week. Because like going into the feud with Imperium, they were the faces. And then when they were going into the feud with Ilya Dragunov, they turned heel. But then Dragunov and not Joseph Connors. Oh, that's a match I forgot about too. Joseph Connors lost to Rich Holland.
I like Rich Holland.
I don't know. Let me get back to my I meant to say Joe Coffey, not Joseph Connors. Then he turned face after like the Dragunov match, but now they were just back to being heels here. Like, what is Gallows' role? Like, are they faces or are they heels? Really,
Both.
um,
They can go both ways, I guess.
yeah, I guess so. What do you think of the six-man tag team match?
It was good. It was very good. Like Gallus is a great team, a great stable, and so is and I like Dave Mastiff and Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews together. Like they've teamed up in the past, and I've liked that.
Well, they did this time.
The inclusion of Trent Seven into it's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting enough to keep you watching. I liked it.
And now we're gonna go back to the match I forgot to break down. It was Joseph Connors versus Rich Holland. It was fine. I don't know. I feel like the crowd really wasn't into this match that much. I feel like the styles really didn't match together, but I still thought the match was good. Maybe Rich Holland did a little bit too much selling in this match. I feel like
it felt like it.
So I feel like it kind of killed his mystique a little bit. And he ended up winning. I feel like no one really lost because he ended up hitting like the Alabama Slam, and it was like a struggle for him to hit it, but he finally did. And then
he was working on his leg.
Yeah, but I thought the match was like fine, but I feel like the styles didn't mesh, and maybe Rich Holland should have done a little because you can tell he's not used to selling when you watch the match. So that was NXT UK. I thought it was a good show. I'll give it like a B minus, 84 out of 100. So and like I said, it was a unique because they're the only ones in front of a crowd right now. So NXT UK is going to have the unique factor over every other wrestling company.
Yeah, because they have to have a crowd.
Now, we're going to go on to some WWE news. You already broke down a couple of them for me. Oh, what do you grade NXT UK? I forgot to ask you.
I give it 85 out of 100.
So, some WWE news. We already broke down the Daniel Bryan stuff. This is a bit old, but I forgot to break it down when we did the last episode. WWE has stopped paying the Revival. Pretty much what happened is they're getting as much money as they were guaranteed to get on the contract that they already had. And since they're basically not signing a new deal, and they're not going to be showing up anymore. WWE doesn't feel like they need to pay them anymore, which makes sense. Obviously, like they shouldn't get
business-wise.
Yeah,
if you're not going to wrestle for us, you're refusing to wrestle. You're refusing to sign a contract. We're just not going to pay you.
Especially too if they already got paid the amount of money that they were guaranteed to get with the other contract. So
yeah, go home. We're not going to pay you.
I mean, this all could have. This all could have been avoided had they just pushed the Revival anyways. But I mean, obviously, you can see both perspectives in that one. And I think it's just a matter of time before they are in AEW. Because I know whose contract expires first. Because I know one of them is not going to expire right away because they were hurt for like a month.
I think it's Dash expires first, but I could be wrong. It could be Dawson. Either way, their contracts are both up by like the summertime, I think. Because one of them got frozen for a little while.
Yeah. Then it was shoot season in the world of Twitter. We're gonna get into it more when we talk about AEW, but a fan posted out on Twitter that after the Lance Archer segment, they wrote, "This is exactly how Braun Strowman should have been utilized." And Braun Strowman said, "Send all the boxes that Lance Archer checks off, and we'll see." And then Lance Archer responded back by mentioning all the things like I can do this, and that, and then they just basically got into a banter over Twitter. Quite cool. I really wish they were in the same company because we could get a match out of that. Triple H shot on Deontay Wilder because they showed WrestleMania 30 on ESPN, and he tweeted out I think it was a reference to the fight that he had with Conor McGregor. I don't remember the tweet, but you can look it up. And Brian was because I was wearing that gear I was wearing was really heavy, so that was interesting. And that's shoot season, so I think there's more, but that's the main ones I remember. So That's kind of quite fun. I laughed when I heard about this stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Um, and basically, this is like, what's up? Um, we find out. Remember that sex tape that Hulk Hogan had in 2015? The one that got him ousted from the company.
Yeah.
It's settled now. Basically, it just. I mean, they didn't really say like what got settled, but they just pay. It's just basically not ongoing anymore, which is a good thing. Because we don't really need that handing over anymore. Um, like I said, it's really tough to know if like the situations now is affected like that being finally called off because now they can't really do anything about it for a
Yeah.
while. So we'll see on that one. Another interesting one, Ember Moon update. I'll just say that one. She's basically getting better. When did she go out with injury? Like last year?
Yeah, somewhere time last year.
She's still a ways away, but she like posted a picture on Twitter because she can't actually like go, get like treatment and stuff. Made it sound like she has cancer because I can't think of the words sometimes. But um, she's basically gonna just be doing her rehabbing at home. So I don't know exactly when she'll be back, but she should be back fairly soon. Um, then we have the biggest news story of WWE. WWE is negative on a CM Punk return, which is kind of a surprise because since he's back with Fox, you would think the only one that's stopping CM Punk from coming back is CM Punk. Well, that's not necessarily the case. Apparently, they feel like they have too many part-timers on here right now with Goldberg and Edge and John Cena, I guess counts as one, and all these part-timers. They feel like, and Brock Lesnar, obviously, they feel like they have too many. It kind of diminishes the chance for the full-timers to get their hands, so it would just be basically part-time city. I feel like they say that, but I feel like if the opportunity came right now for CM Punk to come back, they would take it in a heartbeat with the money that gets involved. I feel like they're just saying that. It's just more talk, but that just kind of is strange to hear that. I feel like that's just a bunch of bullshit. If Vince, if CM Punk really wants to come back, I feel like Vince will make that happen no matter how many part timers. But what do you think about that story? Like,
I'm not surprised at all.
That's all the WWE news. Now we're going to finally review AEW. We're going to start with AEW Doc. This was episode 25. This was it's called Salt Lake City, Utah, because it took place in Salt Lake City, Utah. I shouldn't have to explain that one that much. It was hosted by Tony Schiavone and Darcy Gonzalez, and then it was commentated by Excalibur and Taz. So that's basically the full-on commentary team now for AEW Dark, which I think is a great choice. Peter Avalon lost to Colt Cabana. That match was entertaining. I really enjoyed that match. Colt Cabana won with this Superman roll-up, but I really enjoyed the stuff they were doing. Like Colt Cabana went for his book and did his podcast in, and it was just a really entertaining matchup. I thought the gimmicks kind of really meshed well, and I'm actually all fine with Colt Cabana being in AEW. I don't think he's gonna have like a big role in AEW. Like he's not gonna be like the world champion or main event in like every show every week. But I feel like he's gonna have roles like where he'll wrestle. I do think he's gonna transition out of that fairly quickly. Not like in a month, but like in like a few, like 6 months or so, and he'll go into like more of a backstage role. But what do you think? What do you think of this match?
It was okay. Nothing special.
What about Colt Cabana? What do you see his role being in AEW? I guess since I just brought it up.
It's really, I don't know, funny guy. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, funny. Then we had TH2 versus Brandon Cutler and Michael Nakazawa. I enjoyed this match as well. I'm really enjoying Brandon Cutler lately. He's really been showing himself in these tag matches by just having like this one-man wrecking crew where he just takes everybody out. The only reason he lost is because his partner couldn't carry his own weight, mainly because he had the baby oil all over him, so he's slipping around all over the place. But yeah, I enjoyed that match. TH2 won, which obviously is the destination, considering the fact that they're the more legit tag team, so they should be winning. So I thought that was a nice little matchup right there. What'd you think of this match?
It's a comedy match. It's not a comedy match, but like Nakazawa makes it that way. It was okay, I guess. I don't know.
Then Penelope Ford defeated Riho, which I was very surprised about. That was very shocking. The match actually was pretty decent. You could definitely see that Penelope Ford was carried a little bit in this match, but yeah, I enjoyed this match. Very shocked Penelope Ford won. Maybe I don't. Yeah, it seems really weird. Like Riho kind of went from just being the champion and just kind of fell really quickly. Maybe they realized she really wasn't working as a champion, so they were like, okay, we got to kind of back off on you a little bit. Mainly, I think I had the feeling like they had to. Oh no, they really had to convince Kenny Omega on that one because he was the one that really wanted to push her, and she just really wasn't working. So yeah, that was a nice little matchup right there. What do you think of Penelope Ford versus Riho?
It was okay. It was good enough. It was good enough, but yeah, Riho is champion now. She's wrestling on Dark and barely on AEW television. Shows you how much they care about her.
Yep. Then Christopher Daniels beats Stu Grayson. I really enjoyed this. It was kind of furthering the Dark Order storyline. I like the way Daniels won. Made sense for him to win. Then afterwards, SCU and Colt Cabana all fight off the Dark Order when they go to attack him afterwards. So I actually really enjoyed this match. I thought this match was the best match of the show, and it was quite good. So what do you think of that match?
It was good. It was a good match. I liked it a lot.
AEW Dog's a B-. It's like an 80 out of 100. This is probably one of the weakest episodes I've seen in a while. But it was still quite good. They're definitely not as good as like the one when we saw like Kenny Omega face Joey Janela like in that unsanctioned match and stuff like that. So, I feel like they're kind of like it still has a place, but it's used to showcase more like the Peter Avalons and the Kip Sabians and such of the world. Like I don't think we're ever gonna. I don't think we're gonna get like the AEW Dark that we saw live like ever again. So. What about what about the direction of AEW Dark? You think it's kind of transitioning, kind of it's good event without question though. So
yeah, it's kind of like It's like a transitioning thing.
Yeah. Then we have AEW Dynamite. This was a awesome show. Obviously we kind of referenced it. This was more they have to do the empty arena thing. They did the thing, but they kind of worked around it. They had wrestlers in the crowd throughout the show. We saw like Joey Janela, Sonny Kiss, Colt Cabana, Frank Kazarian, Christopher Daniels. And they were, since they were the faces, they were all on one side, and they had the heels on the other side. It was MJF, Sean Spears, Tully Blanchard, Jake the Snake Roberts, Lance Archer, and somebody else. I'm forgetting who else. And I really enjoyed it. MJF and Sean Spears were making bets for the matches, which was awesome. And MJF was just awesome. You could really hear him throughout the whole show. Just go watch the show and you'll understand like the crowd reactions. It was almost as if like they were in front of a crowd. So it was great. It opened. What was like the biggest highlight for you on AEW Dynamite last week?
Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Other than that, because obviously it doesn't. So.
I mean, we can't really like put it into perspective like by talking about it. Like, just watch the show for yourself and you'll see.
So we had it opened up with Cody doing a promo. He kind of tied in the stuff that's going on in the world, like saying this is the time we all have to stick together, and kind of use it for the Elite storyline, because even before everything that happened, they were building up this storyline where the Elite were falling. So they're saying, like, now we got to come together and take out the Inner Circle and win the Blood and Guts match. We find out that Nick Jackson isn't going to be able to be in the match anymore because, the Inner Circle attacked him, by dropping the garage door on him. And, Kenny Omega and Matt Jackson come out and they all agree to it pretty much. They even mentioned like the past that Cody and Kenny Omega had like at ROH Best in the World 2018. Um, and sorry, ROH Supercard 2018. And then they brought up like how the Young Bucks and like Kenny Omega and like Heyman and Page have had issues. But then when they went on Heyman and Page, he doesn't really say anything. He just salutes his glass over to them and walks off. I thought this segment really worked. I really enjoyed this segment. It really worked because they were like with no fans, so that really made it work. What do you think of this segment? Hello? Hello? Oh, this is just great. Skype just sucks. Well, maybe a lot of dead air right now.
We'll just edit it out.
Well, James will edit it out anyways. Just say again what you thought of this segment.
It was really good. I liked it. Really good.
Yeah, it was awesome. Then they, they had the Best Friends versus the Lucha Bros with Orange Cassidy on commentary. Before that, they did the Death Triangle. They showed like a nice video package hyping up the feud. They showed Tony Schiavone interviewing MJF. This is when they it was revealed they were better on matches. MJF was like denying it, and then like off mic, like he tried to say off the microphone, like if he was asking if Tony Schiavone what's in on the gambling, it was great. I really enjoyed MJF and Sean Spears were drinking wine together too, and on the commentators, Jim Ross and like Taz and Excalibur were all doing commentary. Were like, "What was that water?" And then they that doesn't look like water. So that was funny. But the Best Friend Lucha Bros match was awesome. Just go watch it. It's an awesome match. Eventually, they ended up winning with the package power driver double stomp combination. Orange Cassidy tried to interfere. He was actually on guest commentary, but he fell asleep because he doesn't care. It's funny. I love it. Then afterwards, the Best Friends challenge the Lucha Bros to a parking lot street fight on the next Dynamite. Throughout the whole show, we weren't really sure. Because of the state of the world, they weren't sure when they were gonna have another Dynamite, so they just kept saying the next Dynamite. They didn't say next week or anything like that. So that was kind of interesting. But what did you think of this tag team match and everything like that?
It was good. It was good, and I like the fact that there's a parking lot brawl next week or tomorrow. One of the next Dynamite.
Yes. I'm really excited about that. Then we had a Fatal 4-Way women's match because they still got to throw things together for the woman. Every match that the women have is just thrown together. It's Penelope Ford versus Riho versus Chris Statlander versus Hikaru Shida. It was a pretty good Fatal 4-Way match. Penelope Ford seemed like an odd fit in this match. She just kept messing things up. Everybody else did fine, but it was really Penelope Ford that was kind of messing. Like I think she went for like a drop kick and tripped, and like went for a suplex and couldn't get somebody up for it. But she was just mainly there to take the loss. So Kuroshita won, which obviously is the right direction to go because she's probably getting the next title match against Nyla Rose. So it obviously makes sense for Kuroshita to get the win. I'm all down for that. So what do you think of this match?
I liked it. It was good. It was good enough. Women's division's not very good, but it's getting better. And this should, they have some stars there that they can build around. But yeah, it's okay.
Afterwards, Tony Schiavone interviewed Cole Cabana. He was like mouthing off about Kip Sabian and stuff, and Kip Sabian got really offended about it. And Cole Cabana challenged him to do something, and he really didn't do much, so he just like pushed him. And I thought that was hilarious. Cole Cabana just like completely owned him, like he just made him look like a fool. I actually thought it was hilarious. What do you think of this?
That was funny. I liked it.
Then afterwards, Jon Moxley gets interviewed, and Jon Moxley is pissed that he's still not cleared. He said, "I've never been cleared." And then, he can't even get cleared to wrestle, so he's just going to go take a drive. And he gets into the car that the Minnesota gave him, and he speeds out of there. Like, he was pissed. I thought it was awesome. So, what do you think of that?
It was good. It was awesome. John Moxley. What's not to like about it?
I like that he still had the call, too, because, that shows that they don't forget. It's just those little touches.
Yeah.
The Butcher and the Blade lost to a boy in his dinosaur. Marco Stunt wasn't there because he's sick. I don't think he has the illness. I just think he's sick, and obviously they're telling you anyways, if you're sick, don't go to work. So that's kind of what was happening there. But you know me, I love seeing the Luchasaurus. I don't know what I want to do with myself if I get to see the Undertaker and the Luchasaurus in the same week. That's going to be epic. Epic knockout moments right there.
What if he becomes the Losersaurus?
No, stop. That. He was blowing up the crowd. There was no crowd, but he was blowing this. He was awesome. Luchasaurus was awesome. Make him the world champion like yesterday. Eventually, Butcher and the Blade lost because MJF was trying to chant instructions at them and it caused them to lose. But I mean, come on, you're not gonna beat a boy in his dinosaur. It's not gonna happen. It's enough of that. What were they even thinking doing this match? It's just not. It's just not. Yeah. Luchasaurus and rules. He's gonna be the world champion in like a month. What do you think of this?
Liked it. It's good that the right people won.
Oh, absolutely. Are you just saying that to make me happy, or did you really think the right people won?
Just saying it to make you happy.
I'm going to let you talk about this because I need to rest my voice a little bit.
No, you're not allowed to. You got to fucking keep talking.
No, you're going to talk about it. So the reveal of the Exalted One.
It turned out it's Brody Lee. Great. I like Brody Lee a lot. I think this will showcase him better. It was just showcase him a lot better as the Exalted One. I like it. I like that idea of him being the Exalted One. It makes sense. As opposed to him doing absolutely nothing in WWE. He can actually go here and be figured in prominent storylines, which makes sense because he's talented as fuck. And I love it. I like that. I love the fact that it's not Matt Hardy. I love that. But yeah, it makes total sense that it's Brody Lee, and it fits. It fits a lot.
They almost gave it away by accident, though, because when they were showing like the video, you saw like the Exalted One 1-0, and that was close right there. Like, I don't know if you caught that, but because I've never seen him outside of WWE, so he can act like I never knew he could like actually cut a promo because he never really spoke much in WWE. And
he can cut a fucking badass promo.
And he did. Obviously we can't go. I would have loved how we talked about because when they were gonna reveal him, like Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels came in, and then like didn't believe that there was gonna be an Exalted One. So then Brody Lee said to Christopher Daniels, "You're not the first out of touch old man to not believe in me." So I obviously love that shot that they threw in there. Obviously the other shot was when when he was gonna do his sister's clothesline, he set it up by acting like he was gonna go for the Sister Abigail. I thought that was great. Think about it too, like a lot of people hated the Dark Order. I bet a lot of people turned around on the Dark Order once Brody Lee got revealed to be the leader of the Dark Order. I think that's awesome right there. So I'm actually excited about this. I'm excited to see what Brody Lee does as like the leader of the Dark Order. So, then Tony Schiavone interviews Jake the Snake Roberts and Lance Archer. Jake the Snake Roberts just cuts this awesome promo talking about how like Cody ignored Lance Archer, doesn't even show him respect, and he says that like when Cody gets into the ring with him, it's going to be a destruction. That was great. Then it actually shows like this awesome video package of like Lance Archer like training. We find out it's in like Darby Allin's backyard from what they said in Jericho's podcast. And he's just destroying everybody. eventually when he goes to like get in his truck, someone says, "I can take you on," and he just choke slams the guy on his truck. This was awesome. Like it was so good. Just go watch it. What do you think of this?
It was great. It was a great way to bring him in.
And Jake the Snake Roberts was there like reading a book or something, like watching this. It was great. Then we had Proud and Powerful and Jake Hager with Sammy Guevara versus Matt Jackson, Heyman, Adam Page, and Cody with Arn Anderson and Kenny Omega ringside with Cody Rhodes. Sorry, not Cody Rhodes. Chris Jericho on commentary. One thing we got to change. There's actually one small rant on the show. It doesn't affect my grade of the show. Get rid of the Inner Circle theme music. Just have them come out to Judas, because that's shit. Because that's just shit. Because it really doesn't make that much sense. Why did Jericho just come out with them anyways? By the way, like
I know it didn't really make any sense, but
yeah, this is the spot where Sammy Guevara's singing Jericho's theme song. MJF afterwards was like giving him tips on how to sing, which was great. One thing I forgot to mention. Well, actually, because I haven't gotten there yet. Jericho was awesome on commentary. He keeps mentioning like how he just found Nick Jackson backstage, laid out under the grate, so he doesn't mention that he was in on it. He was really roasting Excalibur, loving Jim Ross. He screwed up the name of the faction that he was in because he was mentioning like how somebody should have joined the Inner Circle, but he accidentally calls it the Elite by mistake, and I think Excalibur was like, "You don't even know the stable. You don't even know the name of the stable that you're in." Like it was great. And just Jericho was absolutely awesome on commentary. He kept calling Sammy Guevara the Spanish God, and just go watch him on commentary. It's great. In this match, Brandy Rhodes, by the way, the whole night was the ring announcer because they were short on talent. So Cody teased like he was going to throw his T-shirt, and instead he just threw it to Brandy Rhodes, and she overreacted to it. It was actually quite great. They actually kind of continue. I actually really like how they continued the feud between him and MJF because MJF was talking shit to him. So Cody goes to hit. I think he punched him in the face, and then Wardlow was in the crowd, chokes Cody. And it actually kind of led to the heels getting the advantage in the match, which I actually kind of like. They did that little thing to continue that feud. Because they're going back to that at some point. So I don't know when now, because if I want to do that in front of a crowd. They dominate Cody for a long time. Eventually, Heyman and Page gets the hot tag. But Heyman and Page, I really like it too. Like right when Heyman and Page and Matt Jackson are finally getting along, it's not enough for them to get the win. The Inner Circle still win anyways. So that means now they're going to have the advantage in the Blood and Guts match. And Jericho's bragging. He talked about how, we've never had a fight. The Elite's just falling apart at the seams. And it's going to be 5-on-4 in the match. But then, we hear this buzzing sound going off. And Matt Jackson said it's not going to be 5-on-4. It's going to be 5-on-5. And come down from, the rafters. And who do we see? None other than broken Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy is finally in AEW. I popped for this. This was absolutely awesome. It's very similar kind of to the John Moxley interview because it was not literally. I feel like this was even shorter though. Like 2 weeks ago, Matt Hardy was just in WWE. So it's really nuts to see how that happens. And it was a great end to the show. It was a bit awkward because I feel like they didn't really know the cue because since there's no crowd. Jericho said it in his podcast since he didn't have the crowd to play off of. He had to kind of just, guess when it was going to happen. So you really can't blame him for that because, when you don't have the crowd, it's tough. But I thought the match and the segment was absolutely awesome. So what did you think of the end of the show?
Thought it was great, man. How do you begin AEW is awesome.
And unfortunately, though, Blood and Guts isn't happening. I think we've already told this news story, but we'll just say it again. Pretty much, They with the circumstances, they don't want to have the match because it really won't work if it's not in front of a live crowd. I don't even know if they can even get the double cage because the arena seemed kind of small, so I don't know if like it would actually fit the whole arena. And because of everything going on, they don't want anyone getting sick. So that's a lot of people to put in the arena at once. That's what, like 10 people. So that's kind of risky because how many people? Because it's only like 10 people that can be even in like at an event. And, yeah, that's very risky to kind of do a match like that, especially too because there's gonna be blood anyways too. So you don't really want to have like the risk of someone bleeding because obviously that's could cause you to get that thin that I screwed up earlier and said by accident. But so now we're getting a whole new show. Jericho's going to confront Broken Matt Hardy next week. We're getting Cody versus Jimmy Havoc, which I'm really excited about. We're getting Kenny Omega defending the AAA Mega Championship against Sammy Guevara, which actually kind of is a bit unpredictable since they kind of both work for AAA. You really don't know who could win that match. I'm assuming it's just going to be Kenny Omega because it's Kenny Omega, but still. We're still getting the parking lot brawl. I'm assuming we're supposed to get Luchasaurus versus Wardlow, but I don't think it's going to be a lumberjack match. I think it'll just be a regular match. Like I said, that's a lot of people to have in one spot. But that was Dynamite. The only thing that sucked about this show was I really felt bad for Brody Lee and Matt Hardy that they didn't have the crowd because the crowd would have gone nuts, especially for Brody Lee because they were supposed to be in Newark, New Jersey, like his hometown, for his debut. So it really sucked, but there's really nothing they can do about it. So I'm gonna give AEW. I'm gonna give it the A+. I'm gonna give it a 97 out of 100. So what do you think of AEW Dynamite?
I give it a 87 out of 100. It's good. It was great. It was a really good show.
And I'll just quickly give my thoughts on the podcast because that's really the only news thing. You kind of already given your thoughts. Really enjoyed the podcast. Like I said, I like that Matt Hardy didn't bury WWE. He didn't mention things like he didn't like about it, but he just mentioned it's. I mean, that's what they said. Like it's just Vince's way. Vince only knows what he knows, and he mentions some things like he talked about the broken gimmick. He talked about kind of what led to it. He talked about Jeff Hardy being in on it and stuff. Talked about like if they would do stuff in the future. Matt Hardy's contract, it seems like, by the way, that he might be able to do New Japan like Moxley and Jericho, which is going to be kind of cool. That'd be kind of weird, though, because I don't know how that gimmick would work in New Japan, because the New Japan crowd is more of like that high wrestling thing. They're not really known for characters, so we'll have to wait and see. Maybe like have a hardcore match in there. That would be interesting. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the podcast. I believe that's the only other news that we didn't break down. Let me just double check.
I think we covered everything.
Yeah, we only did shoot season. We did WWE content. I know. I usually try to make these short, but because there were so many shows we had to review, and there's so many things going on in the world right now and stuff, that they gotta be. Some of them gotta be long. So, hey, you stuck through it. You didn't. It's not like you have anything to go do right after this, anyways. So, anyhow, is there anything you want to plug or promote?
Description.
Yeah, description. The same thing for me. Description.
We've done enough talking.
Yeah, you could tell I'm losing my voice because I've talked for like over 2 hours. So that's pretty much it. I don't know when we're gonna do another show. We're supposed to be coming on our 200th episode soon. I might try to make it the WrestleMania show, but then we gotta squeeze in like a bunch of shows, so we're gonna kind of work around it. So just check it out. Maybe we'll make it. Maybe it'll be after WrestleMania. I don't know what we're gonna do yet because everything's kind of just going mad. We don't really know. Like this is all just kind of came out of nowhere, but just definitely tune in. That's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and we will talk to you guys later.
our own drinks. Take that work week off, 5 days in the bucket. Fuck it, you got a boss who's a jerk who doesn't. Throw on some Wu-Tang, bring the motherfucking ruckus. There is no pretext. We are living and we love it on a budget. Never mind, we just nudge it to the side. Give the kids a little time. We are living till we die. Focused and we hustle, but we still be getting high. No exception to the rule. Do what you do to get by. Cause I keep ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home.